welcome back to Who's Casting with me, Kyle.
And Jose.
And Pat's here too.
And Ben.
Alright, I was gonna have Jose introduce you because you're not here normally.
Yeah, you're in like one archived episode, so you would have gotten an introduction, but you screwed yourself there, kid.
Yeah, it takes a certain amount of visits to be able to say your own name.
If this is like the movie crits, he'd be that star, like, you know how they have the name of the actors, and then it's like, and William H. Macy. It'd be like, Kyle as Pat O'Malley, Jose Talavera, and Ben Talavera.
You know what I've never gotten? You watch Buffy.
Yeah.
Why did Anthony Stewart Head always get screwed? And it was like, and him, like you don't know him every season.
I don't know. I never really figured out how that worked.
It was always like, and Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Like, we all know Giles.
I mean, I don't know.
He's been in every goddamn episode.
Well, not every.
Well, for a while.
I mean, that's kind of what happened with the Doctor Who special, where it says, and John Hurt with Billy Piper.
Is the fact that that person has to be like a known actor kind of thing? Because I've seen that.
I think that's true. But
That might be it.
But later seasons, weirdly, to go back to Buffy, Allison Hannigan got like, and then with and Allison Hannigan as Willow.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like she's been in.
Like How I Met Your Mother wouldn't be created for like another 2 or 3 years.
I mean, maybe American Pie came out.
American Pie came out before Buffy ended, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was during the run.
Yeah, I guess.
But nice segue there, Jose, that I just derailed.
Yeah, thanks, jackass.
To our special Doctor Who episode that I've renamed Who's Casting.
It's now been more than over 50 years, 50 years in a few days since Doctor Who premiered.
We're now we're over the hill. Doctor Who is over the hill.
I'm on 3 viewings of the Doctor Who 50th special. I watched it once when it premiered, I watched it once the Sunday, and then I knew I was going to see it in movies and the theaters last night, so I didn't watch it until I saw it again for the 3rd time last night, which I'm glad I didn't, because it was good, and especially in 3D. 3D really did help it a lot.
Right? I was a little scared, but it was pretty good in 3D.
Like lately, it seems like every movie is like just trying to like give into like being 3D. Ever since Avatar,
I disagree. I think we passed that. Now it seems like they put them out in 3D because they have to, because studios are going to make you.
I guess.
But I feel like we're on the other side. We're on the other side of the hill of that too.
Another interesting like fact with like the movie, seeing the Doctor Who 50th anniversary in theaters, is that in the theatrical release, you get like a brief opening with Strax the Centaur, and you get like a quick like moment with like the 11th and 10th Doctors like doing some improv or whatever, and then segue into the main special.
Yeah,
I love the chin joke.
That was so weird that like because I was expecting it to start, and then there just kept being things that were like, I was like, this isn't how it starts. All right, it's over. Let's go. Nope, this isn't how it starts either. All right, no, okay, all right, nope.
And then like the movie wouldn't start at first because like the projection was.
Oh yeah, we had a wonky
and
projection.
Like Jose, along with at least one other guy, pulled out their their replica sonic screwdrivers and like fixed it.
What else were you going to expect that night?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I was
mechanics?
actually I was a little underwhelmed by the amount of sonic screwdrivers, to be frank and honest.
I was impressed with the amount of people. It wasn't as pathetically just like attended as I thought it would be, but
it was pretty pathetically
attended.
It was like 20 people in the theater.
It was a Monday night.
It was definitely
that was the issue.
It was a Monday night. It is in other theaters. It's not something that's super common, and they played it on TV for free.
Aside from us, it was like mostly old people who I guess were fans.
It was like one pair of old people. Everyone else was within our age range.
What I was gonna additionally say was that it was some old people and mostly like couples our age that were into Doctor Who, because that was about it.
Very true.
I was underwhelmed by the cosplay. I think I saw one other person in cosplay.
Well,
she was the TARDIS.
You like went full out.
But also, this wasn't it was not the premiere date.
That's what it was in the end.
Yeah.
Because I've seen photos of people that went for the premiere, and woof, I saw a very.
Have you ever been on the Doctor Who Reddit? Like, you should post.
I don't do Reddit.
You should though. There's a whole Doctor Who Reddit. You should upload a picture. Like, there are tons of people who always upload pictures of them like dressing up as the Doctor and cosplaying. You'd like be perfect for like submitting photos of you and Ben like cosplaying as the Doctors.
All right, I'll keep a note of that.
Definitely, it's very like well put together too.
I did that once.
This part doesn't even fit anymore.
Well, okay, yep.
So get another small person to dress up as the Doctor by you.
There aren't many small doctors.
He meant find a replacement for you to fit your old costume.
Yeah, the Doctor's not small.
Unless he's the 2nd, 7th, or War Doctor.
Oh, 2nd was... John Hurt is not small.
He looks kind of...
He's just an old man.
Whatever.
The 2nd Doctor is small.
I love the 2nd Doctor. Let me tell you, okay, like, I don't want to call it fanfic, but I guess there's no other way of saying it's fanfic. I saw, in like, I think it was from Comic-Con, something celebrating Doctor Who. They're like, there was like a fan art image of the second Doctor with River Song fighting off Cybermen. And I just saw that image and I was like, wow, I wish I knew the story that was going on in here. And like, I know there's a whole issue, like there's already a big plot hole with how she knows the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, I thought it's supposed to be established that she only knows Matt Smith.
And there's like the plot hole and everything, and I'm surprised they didn't clear that up in like the 50th. But you just like, honestly, aside from that plot hole, I mean, I'm sure you can like hand wave something to make it work.
River's entire life is a plot hole.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I'm glad, you know, like it's weird too. Steve Moffat's a good writer, but characters like River Song, you can't deny that characteristics of her fall into like textbook cases of like the Mary Sue type character.
I believe that she was not meant to be what she ended up being.
Which is,
I mean, no, it wasn't her fault. She's a fine character. It's just they decided that, hey, let's just throw River into every single thing we do from now on.
well, Steve Moffat's the one that made the decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think she was supposed to be a character that had a storyline, and you were going to follow. And I think in basic, the storyline they had was the storyline she was supposed to be.
So do you think that Steve Moffat, when they filmed Sense in the Library with 10th Doctor with River, did Steve Moffat, this is the series 4 and everything, did Steve Moffat know that David Tennant was leaving by then? They had to, because like they made references to the song.
I think maybe he knew that David Tennant was leaving. I don't think he knew he was going to be in charge.
That's cool though.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he probably just set it up and was like, oh, I'll be a writer. I don't know if he was setting up his entire arc.
No, but like River Song was like a big part of like Series 6, which is kind of like why Series 6. I like River Song when she's not like being annoying, she's fine and everything. But that's why Series 6. I like episodes like Let's Kill Hitler, but sometimes I get put off by like when River Song's like over.
It is weird. Season 6 is. It might be my least favorite season, but it has some of the best episodes.
Yeah, it does.
It's really weird.
I mean, even with the Matt Smith's 11th Doctor coming to an end, it's hard, like, regardless, say Peter Capaldi could be the best Doctor ever, David Tennant will always go down as one of the best Doctor ever, but Matt Smith, and he's still definitely one of my top 5 Doctors. Like, he's been in a lot of, like, status quo mythology affecting episodes. And I mean, you could say the same with, like, the 10th and the 9th, but not as many as I think as the 11th.
I don't think David Tennant was really in any status quo changing episodes.
Journey's End was
kind of was the status quo.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But another interesting thing I realized is that the personal timelines of all 3 Doctors in the special 10th, War, and 11th, in their personal timelines, this is the, like, right before all 3 of them regenerate into their next incarnation, which is going to be, if they do a future multiple Doctors storyline, I mean, wonder where that's going to, like, cut into, like, their own personal timelines.
Well, yeah, but they can just, if they want, they can just pull them out of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did actually think about, because I watched End of Time again.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize subconsciously, I guess, why I watched Shakespeare Code today.
Yeah, but Queen Elizabeth
the first comes in.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah, and it's... But we still don't know what happens to get her so pissed off at him.
He ditched her, and like
I mean,
that's why she became the Virgin Queen.
My sworn enemy. Like
she probably just overreacted.
And it's like 60 years later, probably 30 years later, but
I mean, like monarchs of like
years.
the hundreds of years ago have been known to like do unusual
to overreact.
Yes, exactly.
I guess.
And then she was known as like the Virgin Queen, so that's probably why she never settled down with anyone else.
Yeah. She was married already.
Yeah, that too. But no, I'm glad. Like End of Time's not the greatest episode. It's got some good moments. Not the greatest.
It's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we could do without like all the pointless Russell T Davies comedic relief characters.
Yeah,
the horny old lady groping the doctor.
Oh no, I meant the pineapple. What are they? The porcupine people.
Yeah, the mute black kid who had no purpose other than eating by the master. What was the point of him?
Maybe he was just an awful actor. Like, so they were like, well, we don't have time to recast, so we'll just say he's, mute and stupid or something.
It's weird. But no, it was good, and I'm glad it looks
the
like
master did eat them, didn't he?
Yeah, he did eat them. And that's just crazy like that.
Yeah, but not usually cannibal. Well, not cannibal, I guess. I guess he can eat human beings and not feel bad about it at all.
I suppose so. I mean,
to him, it's a lesser species, so yeah, I guess.
But I'm glad that like with the upcoming Christmas special, Matt Smith's final episode, The End of Time, like, based on the promotional image, it's gonna be, like, Christmassy, but it's also gonna be, like, you know, like...
Well, he dies.
Well, that. I think it's gonna be, you know, like, this is the big episode for him. This is when, you know...
Well, he goes to Trenzalore.
And before, like, it goes to shit. It reminds me of, like, when the Genesis of the Daleks, he goes to Skaro, and they're the Khaleds instead of the Daleks and everything. Davros still looks the fucking same, and nobody thinks that's suspicious.
But, I don't understand why... Like, I don't understand what's gonna happen, because are they claiming that he's going to Trenzalore now, and that's when his grave is gonna be, or...
The
like,
disaster that turns into Trenzalore, the name of the Doctor, is probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I've looked online that people think that the choice of Peter Capaldi, such an older actor, which is cool, because, like, Steve Moffat is definitely, like, taking the show in a direction more towards, like, the classic series, which is good, because that's how it got popular in the first place. But some fan theories believe that, you know, older body in next version has, like, you know, after the 50th special, the Doctor's not ashamed of being an adult anymore, so he's going back to how he used to be.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I mean, the thing the main thing that I think we're going to have to take a look at, and it's going to be the most interesting part of his regeneration, is that clearly Clara and the Doctor are becoming more than just friends.
They're not getting it on.
No, they're not, but they're leading. Doctor's never gotten it on with a single companion except probably River.
Yeah.
But there's always that, like, there's the chemistry that was there with, like, Rose and Ten. Like, it's there, and then suddenly he's going to regenerate. He's going to be Peter Capaldi, which, no offense to Peter Capaldi, he's a good-looking guy, but he's, like, 60.
So he'll be like a father figure to her. And like...
I know, but it's suddenly, all of a sudden, there's a paradigm shift, like, in a second. He goes from a guy that looks around his age, that is clearly attracted to her.
Well, Clara's seen all the Doctor's past bodies, and she knows that, like, he used to be old and can be old.
It doesn't matter what she's seen. To her, he's a 28-year-old, 30-year-old guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was the first Doctor she ever, he's the Doctor to her.
That'd be cool, because, like, once he regenerates, I'll be Peter Capaldi. Oh, Clara, check it out, now I have to go, because, like, he'll be all up to speed on everything, because he's still the Doctor, so, you know, like, that'll be cool. But, I'm still looking forward to Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I've been watching, I'm
looking forward to it more than, like, anything.
I've been watching, like, a lot of Malcolm Tucker. I should probably branch off more than, like, it's always the same clips, too, no matter how many different, like, best of Malcolm Tuckers I see, but still good. And I should probably, like, watch some of his other acting work. But, even, like, in that episode of Fires of Pompeii where he played, the fucking guy in Pompeii, he was good there. You know, he's a good actor.
He's fine in that, but I think he's going to be excellent as the Doctor.
Oh, yeah, it'll be great. Like, you know, if he's got the ferocity, that's for sure. If he can just, like, tone it down and be more, like, I don't know, just more affable, I guess.
But he knows what, like, for me, if the actor is not a Doctor Who fan, or regardless, in any medium, if the actor is a fan of the subject matter they're playing, you always see an infinitely better performance because they care about it.
That's true.
Peter Capaldi is a lifelong Doctor Who fan.
Well, Matt Smith wasn't a fan until he got the job.
Yeah, but he was from our generation, basically. Like, that there was no Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So it was like, alright.
I was also thinking, too, Matt Smith's about 31 years old. That means Tom Baker had already regenerated to the 5th Doctor when Matt Smith was born. So, hard to believe when you think about it like that. Like, all these years later, like, you know, they'd reunite like that. Like, the 4th Doctor, when you see him regenerate, you'll never think that, like, somewhere, like, an actor hasn't even been born who will one day play an 11th regeneration of the Doctor. But then again, diehard fans had to deal with, like, the 16-year gap, and, like, not directly 6. It was a 7-year gap, then a 9-year gap. It's 16 altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that drove people batshit, though, at the time.
And it must have sucked, especially if, like, imagine, like, it was, like, us in, like, 96, and, like, for some reason we're just really big fans of, like, classic Doctor Who, and then, like, we had the hype of the 1996
I don't think
pilot.
Anyone had the hype. I think everyone was like, this is an awful idea.
Yeah.
Especially because they were planning on doing it in America. It was going to be an American show.
Yeah. You know, despite, like, the bad death the 7th Doctor had, and promotional images I've seen from, like, 1996, Sylvester McCoy seemed like he was getting along fine with Palmer again. There's pictures of him.
Oh, why would he not get along with
Well,
Palmer
I mean,
again?
like, he's all for, like, you know, a new Doctor. There's pictures of him giving the TARDIS keys to Paul McGann. There's pictures of, like, I thought this was funny, that Paul McGann and Sylvester McCoy, like, making funny faces like this. making fun of like the regeneration scene and everything.
But also, like, why would he care? He wasn't fired. The show ended, like, what was it, 7 years beforehand? Like, he was not. I don't think he was still holding out hope. Like, I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna do 20 more years.
It's funny with like Sylvester McCoy in the 5-ish Doctor special directed by 5th Doctor Peter Davison. It's kind of like. Minus the whole end of the world plot, it's kind of like This Is the End, in which we have like the public's persona as like the doctors, and Sylvester McCoy is there, and he's wearing a Hobbit T-shirt, and he won't shut up about the Hobbit and everything. And like, well, no, I was talking with the Oscar winner director Peter Jackson. Maybe you've heard of him. And then like, this reminds me of a time we were filming on the Hobbit. It gets to the point where Colin Baker's like, "Will you stop it?" Oh God,
nice. Oh yeah. So we should just specify and do a little review, I guess, of the actual. We've sort of been dancing around this.
Yeah, right. I mean, we could review it. I'm down. I liked it. That's my review. I thought it was really good.
Fucking loved it.
Oh my God, it was. I mean, it was the most Doctor Who of anything I've ever seen.
I mean, if fucking Tom Baker could be there, I don't know why Eccleston couldn't just swallow his pride.
He didn't want to come back.
Oh, whatever.
It's not a matter of he couldn't. It's not a matter of like they didn't want him. It's not a matter of money. He just didn't want to come back
because he's Christopher fucking Eccleston. He doesn't double dip.
He just didn't care. He just doesn't care. There's just no sentimental attachment to it whatsoever.
That sucks. And what's the point of being a Ninth Doctor fan?
I don't even like the Ninth Doctor.
I like the Ninth Doctor.
He's fine.
He's not the greatest.
He didn't do anything spectacular.
There's a website that like that had the 12 types of Doctor Who fans, and like with like different Doctor fans, it was like Tennant fangirls, Matt Smith fans / Matt Smith's hair fans, then Eccleston fans. It's just one guy wearing a purple shirt. Like, did you see that episode where he danced? Nailed it.
I mean, yeah, there were good episodes in season 1, but it was not like. And he was fine, but you're never if you break down the characteristics of what makes up the Doctor, Eccleston doesn't fit 90% of them.
Yeah.
Which is like, all right, it's a departure from the norm, but immediately after he turns into David Tennant, who's like the most iconic Doctor who follows all of the tropes.
Yeah. Well. Mm-hmm. Have you been on TV tropes a lot? Like,
no.
Really?
I wasn't referring to the website. I was referring to the term. Tropes.
Oh well, when you said, it just made me think of the website. I don't know if you ever. It's a good website. I like it, but no, just like the special was great. I loved. I mean, like it definitely lived up to the hype. Like they had like the Tom Baker cameo. They had clarification with the Time War. They brought back spoiler alert. They brought back Gallifrey and everything, along with all the other Time Lords like the Master and Romana.
Well, David specified that, but the Master's going to be really awkward because he did a whole. He survived the Time War, lived out a whole life as a human, then came back, and then he got thrown back in the Time War.
So
to get frozen.
Yeah. So because like when the Time War that we see in the 50th special, it says the last day of the Time War. Does that mean like the High Council's plan to like destroy time took place like a week before?
No, it was currently.
Oh,
because remember the
other Time Lords were like the High Council's like
screw the High Council, like fuck them. And at the time, they were like doing the thing with the diamond, shooting it to the future.
Yeah, that too. But,
Timothy Dalton was there.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton.
I was actually a little bit depressed he wasn't in it. I thought that would have been cool.
Well, I mean, like, if they did, they would have, like, had to, talk about all the other Time Lord stuff that it would have been combining, like, the storyline of, like, End of Time with, like, this.
Yeah, they could have just shown him, like, a video screen with getting updated.
They could have shown Eccleston there doing something.
Again, he just doesn't give a shit about you, Pat.
They had him, sort of.
No, he didn't.
Well, it wasn't actually him, it was just shit from old episodes.
Yeah,
in the John Hurt regeneration, like, they put his eyes on, like, his...
Well, they showed, like, the general...
This part of, like, you can't see me, but I'm like...
Fine.
They did the best they could.
They really did.
Well, I mean, how did it... The special started out with the...
At some point, it was like...
what's her name?
Clara,
who now has a job?
Yeah, they kind of skipped over that a little bit. Working at the same school that Ian Chesterton's now, like, headmaster of, which is, even though he's, like, 80 by now, or at least.
Which, the actor died, right?
I think so.
Or he might have died. I don't know. But that would be really awkward if he ran into the Doctor now, because the last time he saw him, he was William Hartnell.
Yeah, no, they did a comic in like the Doctor Who comics. It has
Comics are not in canon, Pat.
some of them are.
No, they're not.
Just because they don't mention them on the Eighth Doctor Big Finish novels weren't canon until like
Did they say that? Did they say these are in canon?
They didn't say they were canon.
No, TV. When it comes to TV and movies, when it comes to TV, movies are its own separate thing. When it comes to TV, all that counts are the episodes.
I guess.
And the odd TV movies.
Unless it specifically says that the alternate source is canon.
Yeah, which it never does.
Yeah, they have to go out of their way. But like I said, most of them don't.
Yeah, it's all fan fiction. It's fun fan fiction, and it's fun to see it, but there's never been a thing that, like, Stephen Moffat has never been like, well, I was reading this, and I think we should really incorporate this into our canon.
Yeah.
He must have read the Big Finish novels, the Eighth Doctor, because like
I don't. He might have, but I don't think it has anything.
He referenced all the companions. That's what made them canon. That one sentence, that just brief mention of their names, made all those.
You probably
novels.
didn't read it. You probably just got like, who are Eighth Doctor companions? I know he did all those audio adventures.
Maybe that's
They just gave him a bunch, and they're like, all right, sounds good.
But yeah, kudos to Paul McGann. He got his
Paul
chance.
McGann could have actually improv that because he did all the audio adventures.
He might have. I guess. I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, like, I don't know, any chance to like get his Doctor out there, I guess. But good for him. He got to do his regeneration scene, and he definitely had, like I mentioned to Steve before, he had the most unusual tenure as Doctor ever. He was one.
Well, I was talking. I might have been to you, but I was definitely talking to Damon and James about why they didn't just make an older version of him.
Yeah,
because John Hurt, like when Paul McGann regenerates into John Hurt, he's young and he ages he fights the whole time more and becomes old.
Yeah.
Why instead of making all this confusion, why didn't they just make the Eighth Doctor get old?
Steve Moffat, I think, said that Eighth Doctor's always the romantic type. I can never see.
He was in one thing. You can change him to however you want.
Well, he just said that you couldn't picture Paul McGann's Doctor being the one in the time where you'd have a more like grizzled guy would do it. So he created.
But isn't that like isn't that what's depressing about war? Is that it turns good men into.
I don't know, dude. It's just what happened.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying that, like, this makes no sense. You could even cast John Hurt as the old version of.
Well, that was
Paul
the thing
McGann.
too. That was he wasn't the Doctor anymore. He would still be the Doctor if he was.
I know, but if this special told us anything, at one point they literally Matt Smith and David Tennant are like, "You're the most Doctor. You're the Doctor. You're the most Doctor of any other Doctor."
Except he does not retain that memory.
Yeah, he just doesn't remember it. But he is the Doctor. So Tennant is Eccleston is the 10th. David Tennant is the 11th, and Matt Smith is the 12th. Yeah. Matt Smith knows that. Like,
my whole life is a lie.
It is. It is all a lie.
Yeah. I saw, there wasn't really a lot of criticism I saw for, the episode. Most people from online I saw liked it. Some people were, assholes and said it was underwhelming. I'm like, how is it underwhelming?
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, and then, I saw one reviewer said that he didn't like how the 10th Doctor was really there just for comedic purposes, but I'm sorry he wasn't there, all the Doctors here is the curse of the Time Lord. Bringing back Gallifrey, it's the curse of the Time Lord.
I could not have been more delighted with David Tennant.
Without a doubt.
He was fine. He got his, the guy who became an actor to become the Doctor, got to do his multi-Doctor special. The last thing he ever did as the Doctor isn't completely depressing. So, it was good. It was good when he came back. I'm glad he came back.
It was wonderful.
I will say, really had to do the Zygons?
Yeah, that's on IGN they gave it a 9.3, but one of the minuses was Zygons, really?
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I agree. It was. Oh, I love it. It was almost perfect. It was amazing, but they're not even. I mean, what did they say in that after? Behind the scenes thing.
I don't know.
It was 34 years they haven't been seen.
Yeah, they're only they were in a 4th Doctor episode in 1975.
Yeah, they're not the best.
They're apparently David Tennant's favorite monsters from the old series.
Because
for some
he
reason.
was a child.
I don't know.
And that how? Because he claims Peter Davison was his favorite Doctor.
I don't.
Not necessarily favorite, not necessarily first.
That's fine if
I guess.
Just because Peter Davison is his favorite Doctor doesn't mean the Zygons can't be his favorite monster.
I don't know.
But it's weird. When you see 10th Doctor, Queen Elizabeth, Zygons, before any of the other Doctors got involved, that was pretty much just like one of those specials, like before he regenerated, that just got hijacked.
Yeah,
It's cool.
It would have been just like it would be like post Waters of Mars, pre End of Time.
Yeah, I would be like, 10th Doctor Zygons, Queen Elizabeth, go. That's a special.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It literally could have been like a spec script or something.
Yeah, pretty
Genius.
I loved how they told it how they told it out of order in that perfect Doctor Who way.
Yeah.
Like that what do you call it? John Hurt with the Fez coming in. When it was really happening last, except that it was happening a long time ago, so it was that weird, pardon my phrase, timey-wimey.
Seriously.
People say that, like, the Fez, because of its circular shape, represents, like, the nature of time.
No, it doesn't. It represents he likes fezzes.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying what
Come on! You've watched with Matt Smith. All they do is just give him hats and fezzes.
Oh.
There is not.
And then they get taken away.
There is not anything deeper to it than that.
Alright, fine, he likes Fezes, Jesus.
Sometimes a Fez is just a Fez, Pat.
Yeah, I guess.
That's gonna be in my gravestone.
Yeah,
Including your name. Sometimes a Fez is just a Fez, Pat. In quotes by Jose Talver.
The relatives are gonna be like, "Who's Pat?" Like, it's gonna be like Citizen Kane. Like, they're gonna find out, like, instead of Rosebud, they're trying to find out who Pat was. What the hell they were talking about that involves Fezes.
Yeah.
And then they find out some guy named John Carr from the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh.
That never happened, though. I missed, like, time got fixed or something. I don't know.
Now you still could pull off John Carr.
Alright, whatever.
That's my favorite joke from high school.
That was not a joke. That was terrifying.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Ben, have you seen this picture?
I've never seen the picture. But I've heard many stories.
Okay, so you know about it. You gotta look for it.
Stupid.
There's really one story.
Yeah, but you need to find it.
I've heard it multiple times. Let's say that.
Okay. You just need to find it one day. Okay, back on
I'll
the
take
Doctor Who.
a picture of it so we can all marvel. Well, it's about time travel, so it's sort of relevant.
Yeah, no, that's kind of why I went out with the joke.
I love the picture, like, when they did the behind the scenes thing after the movie. They had, like, the birthday cake, like, you could see John Hurt was wearing the Fez.
Yeah, that was
I thought
nice.
That was funny. That was cool.
Everyone wore the Fez that episode.
Yeah, they
Let's
did.
see. Billy Piper came back.
Yeah.
Attention, whore.
Not as Rose, which I was full. I
was fine with it.
Thrilled.
I was fine with it, honestly.
I was thrilled. I did not want them.
She was the moment, and it was just a future image of Rose. That's fine. Do that. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was just a weapon. That
it
took
could have
over.
technically been any companion. They went with Rose. Okay, cool.
I mean, yeah.
Well, was the argument that you made yet last night?
It also sets up that
Oh,
sets
yeah.
up why Christopher Eccleston would immediately trust and take to her.
And
Yeah.
why Bad Wolf is, like, afraid. It's like when the Doctor found Clara. That was his whole story arc the next series, the half series, to find out who Clara was. That's like Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't remember exactly what happened, the Ninth Doctor just remembered Bad Wolf probably.
No, I don't think. I think Clara. Bad Wolf was all just they saw it, so it became that.
Yeah.
But I think it just sort of gave him the subconscious, like, oh, I can trust this girl. This girl's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame we didn't get to see, like, if it was actual Rose. Before, like, the special premiere, I thought it was going to be Series 2 Doctor with Rose. And, like, it's a shame, like, you wouldn't see 11th Doctor interact with Rose or anything. Just to see, like, what that would be like.
I would have liked to see that.
But that might have, like, knowing, like, Rose's character, that might have, like, hijacked some of the scenes and everything.
But also, I don't think the 11th Doctor would be as what do you call it? Into her as everyone would expect, because he is 400 years later.
It's a new body.
He's at that point he basically forgave himself for the friggin' blowing everyone up.
Yeah, I like that. Like when until the 50th, it was always kind of subtle that, like, the 11th Doctor was definitely a Doctor who was much more moved on from the Time War instead of, like, weighed down by, like, the 9th and 10th War.
Put it behind him.
Because, the end of time was, like, him facing the Time Lords again. Like
Which,
that.
if you think about it, wouldn't that make you feel more guilty? Because it just suddenly brings it back and reminds you that you murdered all these people you just sent back to get murdered?
I guess, I don't know.
Like, it really was. I don't understand how it happened, but
I think he was more pissed off that after all that he still had to regenerate.
I don't think he was pissed. I think he was pretty goddamn sad, seeing as he had, like, a tear going down his face.
It's weird that the 10th Doctor was the more, like, afraid of regeneration as opposed to all the other Doctors.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's implied that he was Well, not the first one, but the first one for a while that really enjoyed life.
I guess. 11th Doctor seems like he's having a good time.
The 11th Doctor came after the 10th Doctor.
I know, but like...
He hasn't regenerated yet.
Oh,
Get with the line.
I mean, I guess he was having a good time between, losing a companion, having a companion disown him, and then having a companion forget everything about him.
Who disowned him?
Well, not disown him, but like Martha wasn't his biggest
Martha
fan.
just left!
Because like she had it with him. She was tired of him.
No, the whole thing is if she stayed, she was in love with him.
Yeah, that's why she was tired of like him mentioning Rose.
In order for her to it was in order for her to get over him, she had to leave. It's literally like established. Like she came back the next year.
Well, he bumped into her from time traveling, and even then they were kind of on bad terms. They were like kind of snippy.
Wait, no, they didn't.
The Sontaran episode.
Yeah, he didn't bump into her.
Well, he traveled to present-day London,
and they needed help. Like,
yeah.
Unit needed help.
But they were still kind of, like, awkward.
They were friends, and then she got kidnapped along for the next ride, but...
Yeah. She lost her fish friend from the Doctor's daughter, Martha.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah, but, Oh, and then she married Mickey, the guy she spent so many scenes with building up her chemistry with.
They're both black.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're...
The only two black characters on Doctor Who.
We'll probably never see them again. Let's just have them get married.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I don't know. I mean, like, we'll probably, in hindsight, we'll most likely never see John Hurt's the War Doctor ever again.
No, we won't.
Nah.
Just fine. I mean,
but what else do we have to see from him?
The Time War is, aside from what we saw, best left ambiguous.
I want to see his everyday life.
His everyday life was war.
Exactly.
It's hell.
Yeah.
He's seen some things and some stuff.
Oh my god. The wind in Gallifrey doesn't blow, it sucks.
What?
It's the tagline from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I actually didn't remember.
Okay. I was so confused right there.
Except for Gallifrey, that's not it. Full Metal Jacket, probably.
But still, no, just, it was good. I liked the scene where the TARDIS desktop went to the classic desktop.
Oh, I love that. With
then,
the light circle things.
Yeah, then the Russell T. Davies desktop.
The round things. I always love the round things.
What are the round things? I have no idea.
Oh, God. Yeah, apparently John Hurt's Sonic Screwdriver, like the freaking pen thing's on sale now. They can get replicas of that.
Yeah, I liked it.
Good, I'm getting it.
Why? It's such a...
I love that.
Because I want one of every screwdriver.
I did love that. You only have one.
Well, because I had to replace my 10 screwdrivers, so I didn't have the money to buy 11s, and now I'm just dumb.
You can just take one of his broken ones.
But it's broken.
And he lost one, too.
You're a monster.
I am the reincarnation of Matt Smith.
But he's still alive.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And also, those are props on a TV show that he makes lots of money on.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to pay for those.
Yeah.
Oh, well, but, no, like I said, like you said, it was a good special, and, yeah, just...
I do love how they poke fun at each other every now and then.
Yeah, that was good. Like,
every now and then, it was like every scene they were
Yeah.
The banter was good.
I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite jokes was constantly referring to the size of Matt's chin.
Wait, even like the second he turned into the 11th Doctor, they made fun of the chin. They're like, oh, nose, eyes, chin, blimey.
Yeah.
Sure, but...
So I guess Matt Smith's cool with it.
But hearing David Tennant do it was kind of funny, especially with when they're like, we're going to activate the 3D right now. And then David Tennant comes like, sorry about that. Before we activate the 3D, just remember, he's going to pop out and, chin.
No, I mean, like, sand. I never thought Converse were sand shoes. I guess maybe
Well, that's what I said. I wish they had made it a little bit of a more universal joke about the Converse.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly a British joke we all don't get.
Yeah.
And maybe beaches in England are so cold that the people are wearing Converse there instead of sandals.
Mm-hmm.
But and another thing, the 5th Doctor knew about timey-wimey. Why was the John Hurt Doctor surprised by timey-wimey?
Well, the 5th Doctor knew about it in a charity special.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do the Doctor mind meld that they did in like the 3 Doctors. That was cool because they're the same person.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they didn't want John Hurt to mind meld with them.
They could have just
They did not
Doctor
like him.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I thought the John Hurt Doctor was going to be like kind of an asshole, but he was actually mad polite and everything.
was.
Well, I liked him. Well, he wasn't very polite to them.
The second he showed up, was hello, boys. I'm looking for the Doctor. Are you his companion?
Well, he didn't know they were him. As soon as he learned they were him, he started getting offensive.
He was offensive because he found out he's gonna like
Yeah.
look like Matt Smith.
I'm giving
Because-
this ugly man.
Who does the Doctor hate most in the entire universe?
Himself.
Oh yeah.
And what do you call it?
That or his fifth body. Because like the Sixth Doctor, this another reason why people didn't like the Sixth Doctor. As soon as he turned into the Sixth Doctor, yeah, fuck, never liked my last body. Fuck that
Yeah.
incarnation.
Well, I like that they sort of have. He sort of had that view on it with between Matt Smith and David Tennant.
Yeah.
Like how he's just like, oh, whatever you do with your incarnate, your regeneration is your business. Like,
Yeah.
they kind of made it, and they are separate people, even though they're the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, it was only one little special. I feel like 8.5's catchphrase is, "For God's sakes!"
I thought it was like no more Gallifrey.
Yeah, I would say no
fans.
more. Is
Yeah.
his
Well-
catchphrase.
I think he was kind of pissed off. What, I have catchphrses now?
Honestly, at the end, I wish he didn't say Gallifrey stands at the end. When he goes, for God's sakes, Gallifrey stands. Like, why didn't he just say, for God's sakes, and flip the switch? Like,
That would have been so much better, honestly.
it really would have. Like, because then you're sort of setting up your own catchphrase when you're mocking them for having
Yeah.
catchphrases.
Yeah.
I don't
Just
know.
like I just picture like somewhere, just like the fourth, like all the doctors are yelling their catchphrase. Fourth, like, would you like a jelly baby?
No, he was going, "Jelly babies!"
I like
Sixth doctor's just like carrot juice.
carrot juice.
I always want someone to make a joke about carrot juice in like the new Doctor Who episodes, like him on a planet and like, well, we have carrot juice, not just
Oh,
show the
God.
doctor just making, not saying, just making like a really horrified face.
I mean, Doctor Who really, as much as it is a what do you call it, a long-running show with a lot of
It's like one of
things
those
you can
running
call back,
Yeah.
call back. They don't call back much at all.
In the special or just in general?
Even in the special, like
Yeah.
they called back the Time War, which is all Russell T Davies, Steve Moffat stuff, and they just sort of threw up pictures of, they used black and white footage of the old ones at the end, which I loved. I loved that
Yeah, it
they
was
brought all
great.
the Doctors in.
How are they getting in contact with the other doctors?
They broke their own. They're already breaking their own timeline.
Yeah, yes, they're-
I'm sure they went to William Hartnell. Like, you only had to go to one.
So all the doctors know about their future selves then?
Well, no, as soon
Oh,
as
they-
the timeline breaks,
Yeah,
they
they
forget
forgot.
about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
How
That's
very convenient.
Yeah, but
Except Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Well, no, didn't.
No, he didn't forget.
Because he was the president.
Yeah,
that's
he
it.
is the timeline.
Mhm.
So, and plus the fact that, Tom Baker, the curator, sets up the idea that the Doctor will someday regenerate to the point where he's able to go back to his older bodies. And
Yeah, would it be awesome though if Tom Baker walked away and suddenly Matt Smith forgot the whole conversation?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause the timelines. But I was saying yesterday when they it was not implied, it was flat out told that the curator at the end, played by Tom Baker, was a future version of the Doctor, correct?
Yeah, it was unsubtle as Tom Baker being unsubtle about his role in the 50th.
Well, yeah, but like he was, like it was him. There was no doubts about it.
Yeah.
Where was he when the museum that he works at was getting attacked by Zygons?
I don't know. I mean, like,
Taking a really big shit.
Currently working at, and suddenly there's Zygons, and people are getting killed, and he's like, I'll let my younger incarnate.
Maybe because he knew he didn't have to do anything because he already lived
People
all of it.
died.
To be fair,
Fixed point in time.
they didn't exactly
No,
die. They
people
just
died.
they
Fixed
put,
point.
they like covered them in calamari. They didn't like kill them.
No, some of them died.
Yes, but like another thing, they kind of for one thing they kind of forgot about the Zygons the second they went back to the Time War, and another thing, the curator probably remembered how things panned out, so he didn't have to do anything.
Well, no, the Zygon, there was a treaty or whatever.
But yeah, they used the mind wiping technology, but yeah, they never did anything beyond that. They were like, okay, there is two of us, we should probably do something about that.
Yeah, maybe actually, maybe he did settle the whole thing. Maybe like they like imply it's a treaty thing, and really, while they were off saving Gallifrey, Tom Baker was like literally killing the Zygons.
I looked it up,
Yes.
just like Steve Moffat talked about how he got Tom Baker to like do it. Like apparently Steve Moffat got in contact with Tom Baker's agent, and the agent was like, "Okay, as long as you don't put him in the scarf and he's not in the full special, Tom would be open to doing an appearance. And Steve was like, yes, okay, I'll write the little thing for him. It'll be
Really, the
perfect.
scarf was his issue?
I get one of them.
I'm sure he was happy to go back to it this time. Like, this was the first time he's ever come back to the role.
Yeah.
But, he's old, and he knows that he's not... I'm sure when he was young and he quit, he left the show, I'm sure he was like, this is the beginning. It's upward and onwards from here, Tom Baker.
There's a rumor that as his, star status as the Doctor rose, he would, just jokingly threaten to, quit the show to, get his demands on, the show.
I'm sure.
And that's what actually led to him, losing the role, because one day... He's like, okay, I'll do this, alright, quit. And the producer's like, okay, fine, you quit then.
It's not really a great role to do that with, because, he was the 4th Doctor already.
The regeneration wasn't a new thing by then.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Pretty well established.
There were already 3 other guys.
And that's the thing in the biopic in Adventure of Space and Time, replacing William Hartnell was his idea. In real life, it was William Hartnell's decision to leave the show because he was getting... sick. He was 55, but he looked like he was 75, and he's the one who recommended Patrick Troughton too, and everything.
Well, they say it in the
Well, they show
show
him. They had already chosen Patrick Troughton, and then they show him pictures. Oh, Patrick's cool, but in reality, before they made a decision, he was like, "Here, Patrick. I'd say you should choose Patrick Troughton."
But who's to say that happened?
History, because that's what happened.
No, but apparently the BBC is claiming it happened a different way. It's William Hartnell here, and his granddaughter was involved in the making of that special.
Was it? Well, that's cool. I mean,
remember in the end in the credits, she's there, talking about William Hartnell.
Oh, I didn't see anything. I had it downloaded. It's all up until it ended. But,
oh yeah, she was heavily involved. That's why they kept showing the granddaughter. I guess.
I guess that makes sense.
No one watches after the credits unless it's Marvel.
But apparently he was really sick. It was.
Well, yeah, he was he would it was one thing for him to fumble his lines, but it showed him doing a rate of 10 words an hour and everything.
Yeah, it was sad when he was getting mad. He was alone on set. They made him feel very isolated.
Well, yeah,
they did a really good job that special.
Yeah, David Bradley, who's previously known for playing fictional assholes.
Filch,
Walder Frey. He was already on a proper episode of Doctor Who and Dinosaurs of a Spaceship.
Recently.
Yeah.
And he got blown up.
Yeah, the Doctor flat out murdered him.
I'm still a little concerned, as we're doing a Doctor Who podcast right now, that nobody's ever been wasn't that fucked up when you killed that guy?
The Great Intelligence in the name of the Doctor is the Doctor's got blood on his hands, just ask Solomon the Traitor or the Christmas Invasion aliens.
Well, the Christmas Invasion aliens. That wasn't him.
Yeah.
Or that one dude was him, but the dude was coming to kill him.
Yeah. It was Shaun of the Dead's mom, Harriet Jones.
Former Prime Minister.
Yeah.
We know who you are.
No, did you, Adventure of Space and Time, when they had, the old Daleks, and they had the guy doing the voice, that's Nicholas Briggs, the actual... Yeah. Apparently... That was his dream job, to become the Dalek voice.
Well,
yeah,
good for him. Yeah, I know he's a massive fan because he's on every single special. Anytime they have a special about Doctor Who, he's always on it.
That's another thing. The Daleks didn't get much, aside from the point the Doctor's here, the Doctor. They didn't get much dialogue.
I was fine with it because we know the Daleks.
The scene where they were flying around the time. I want to hear them, yelling "exterminate" and everything. That would have been cool. And I still say that was the Emperor Dalek that got flung out at the end.
It could be.
It would make sense. It'd be a great reference.
It actually is better just because if he had actually, because we're implying that he didn't burn them, that it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So the Daleks didn't get burned. They all shot each other.
Yeah.
In some great Three Stooges moment. Every Dalek shot every other Dalek.
One day there's gonna be an article the top 5 Three Stooges moments of the Daleks. No, that's gonna be number 1. Number 2 is gonna be the Dr. Donna taking control of them, making them spin around.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is this?
Out there.
No, my favorite Dalek moment ever is I think it's in. I think it is in those episodes with the end of season 4 when they take over the world in Germany when they're going Exterminagen.
I think that was just because the Daleks were Nazis, so why not have them sound like Nazis?
Well, no, it's just saying that they always change it. They change what they say depending on where they are.
That is weird. Why would they even bother?
I don't know, because then it implies that they are speaking English.
They want to adapt. to the people that they're about to murder.
I know, but then it's implying they're speaking English, which I think it's always not been that.
Yeah, it's
Just
weird
the
though.
TARDIS
Like,
translator.
it's weird they kind of like hand waved the whole Dalek invasion of Earth 2008 was forgone because of the cracks in time of Series 5.
I don't understand that.
And it's only mentioned in that like subpar Victory of the Daleks episode, you know.
I like that episode.
It was cool, I guess. I mean, I don't like the Skittles Daleks, but. Yeah.
But I didn't like that. But I love when Matt Smith like freaks out and just starts beating.
Well,
them.
yeah, in his time. Well, the last time we saw the Daleks, they invaded Earth,
Yeah.
and they were gonna destroy the whole fucking universe too.
But it was the first time you saw Matt Smith's Doctor being the Doctor. Like,
Yeah.
Before that, he was like magical fairy tale.
Well,
guy.
no, the moment with the Atraxia was when he definitely clicked as the Doctor.
No, that was when he was saying he was the Doctor. But like he didn't up until the Daleks, he didn't really. You know, it was just him and Amy being like bestest friends forever, running around.
Having wacky adventures.
Yeah, it wasn't really about like I'm super old and I've saved the world 1,000,000 times.
I don't know. So, looking back, who do you still think is better, the 11th Doctor or the 10th Doctor? Is it more of an apples and oranges kind of thing, you know?
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
They're two excellent actors doing very different performances as
Yeah.
the Doctor.
There's even like the lesser. There's never really been a bad Doctor. Even Doctor.
Colin Baker.
Well, I mean, he gets kind of like the short end of the stick. Like his doc. Have you seen like Frobisher?
No.
You know Frobisher, like the best companion ever, who's never been in a single episode of Doctor Who.
No.
He's a shape-shifting penguin. That was like, I swear to God, this is legit. Frobisher. He was only in the comics. I know that you don't think they're canon and everything.
They're not.
But, well, goddamn. Frobisher is cool because he's like the Sixth Doctor's companion and everything. He's a shape-shifting. He's in like all of like the Sixth Doctor like stories outside like the TV show and everything. And like my point I was trying to say before, even lesser like Doctors like the Sixth, Seventh, and Eighth Doctors, like they still had potential. Like when the Eighth Doctor came back and they had the Doctor, people were like, oh my God, give this guy a series. Like Seventh Doctor. Like, had potential and everything. Like, he had kind of he was not the old Doctor, he's not the young Doctor, he was the middle-aged Doctor.
He was good. I love, what's his name?
Sylvester McCoy.
Sylvester McCoy.
Yep.
But I didn't like that how his companion called him Professor.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that is clearly, something's wrong with the ratings and you're trying to change stuff up.
Yeah.
Like, really quickly, he could have been like, that's not my name, I'm the Doctor. Like,
Professor Who.
I'm not a doctor of anything. My name is the Doctor.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor and that's my name. So imagine how I feel when you call me Professor.
Yeah, like that's...
It confuses me.
Professor implies I teach somewhere.
And I don't think I do.
And the only times I've ever taught anywhere has been some weird undercover, like, sting operation.
Teaching about physics.
I'm sure he's got...
No, he was
the
most he was an educator is when he was the first Doctor, back when the show was an educational program.
Yeah, but he wasn't a teacher then. In fact, his companions were teachers.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I love how in Adventure of Space and Time, like, William Hart is like, we need to tone down the Doctor, make him less nasty. He has to be, like, enjoyable.
Well, it's sort of implying that the Doctor wasn't supposed to be what the Doctor is.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, the Doctor's definitely... There have been moments in time, like, the Doctor could have branched off in, like, different directions. Like, imagine if Paul McGann's series got picked up, you know? Or imagine if Doctor Who didn't get canceled in 89 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all worked out for the best.
It did, yeah. I mean, I'm glad we got into Doctor Who when we did. We didn't have to, like, sit through, like, the gaps and everything. We lucked out. But, you know, it's all good. I mean, like going back to Peter Capaldi again, like, I'm not worried about him being the Doctor at all. Like, he's already proven himself as an actor, so I'm pretty sure he can definitely play a great Doctor.
My only question about the end of the 50th, where all the TARDISes come in and they freeze Gallifrey in a moment in time, and that's how they save Gallifrey, and Peter Capaldi comes in, how? How did they get him? How did they find him?
He probably remembered it.
But you can. What was he like? He just showed up. He was like, "Don't worry, I'll help."
He's probably like, "Oh, I remember I showed up at this time." That's like what happened with the 11th Doctor. Oh, I remember I found the Fez. I guess I better make it happen. Yeah. So you know, I mean, I guess the 11th Doctor technically knows about the 12th Doctor, even though he never met. He's always known that he'll have future bodies.
Everyone knows that.
The 11th Doctor was definitely more laid back about regeneration than the 10th Doctor was. Like, he was cool. Oh, I gotta regenerate, no big deal.
I think the 11th Doctor is just cooler with dying. I don't know if it's about like regeneration is dying,
Yeah.
and I think David Tennant just had a lot more living he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it seems like Matt Smith is old enough that he's just okay. Like, he's okay to die, whatever.
That's
Makes
good.
sense.
They did and the one thing I will say, they did an excellent job of making Matt Smith seem older than John Hurt.
They did, yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's not an easy thing to do. John Hurt is old.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, it all worked out. Like, all the 3 doctors had their distinct personality. Like, 10th Doctor was still, like, weighed down by his memories of the Time War. The 11th Doctor had long since moved on, and he felt there's no point in, like, reminiscing on it. And the technically 9th Doctor, the War Doctor, was reflecting on his decisions before making the big call, you know, so. Which, I read more interviews, like, Steve Moffat said that the genesis of, like, the whole storyline was that, he's like, okay, for this special, I have to, like, what would you say the Doctor's most important day ever was? He's like, okay, the day that he ended the Time War, okay, that'll be that, and, like, the Doctor, and Steve Moffat was like, knowing the Doctor, there's no way that the Doctor would ever be able to do that. There's no way the Doctor would ever be able to blow up the planet and kill all those kids.
Even if he thinks he did.
Yeah.
I always sort of did bug me, because you watch, like, I watched the Tom Baker episode today. I watched Tom Baker Adventure today.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is not, like, there's no incarnation of the Doctor, save the first one,
Yeah.
that could possibly do that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the first one, if you watch, like, the first episode, he, like, is about to murder a caveman with a rock.
Yeah, and, like, he essentially kidnaps Ian and Barbara, right?
Yeah, but it's more like, now, come, we're gonna go and travel in space and time. But, they're in caveman times, and they're, like, walking around, and there's, like, a caveman that's hurt, that's with, like, that they befriended.
Yeah.
And they're getting chased by other cavemen or something,
Mhm.
and they're, like, he's slowing them down, so the Doctor literally grabs a rock and is gonna kill this guy, and Ian, like, grabs him and is like, what are you doing? And looking back, I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, it was early installment weirdness, you know? It's like, they didn't settle on the Doctor's characterization just yet.
I know, but murdering a caveman?
Yeah.
This is still a children's show.
That's true, yeah.
Yep.
But, no, just, I don't know, like, that's another thing. I'm glad, lesser known, like, the Adventure of Time and Space brought recognition to the first Doctor, William Hartnell. Now the Doctor brought recognition to the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann, and everything, and, you know, it was good.
The end of Adventure in Space and Time, when he looks up
Yeah,
and
and he sees Matt Smith, that was cool.
yeah,
I like that a lot.
they have, like, a little moment, and Matt Smith's playing with the console. And I was like, oh, I get to see Matt Smith in the original TARDIS. That was the moment for me. It was
And
like,
the thing in, like, the epilogue and, like, the where are they now thing, they should have included that, like, Hartnell pushed himself to do a cameo in 1973.
and the thing that I watched afterward, it was called, like, the original.
Yeah.
They talk about that, and they talk about how he was so sick when that was happening.
Yeah.
He could not remember lines. They literally
He has cue cards.
Yeah, they had
had to,
cue cards right in front of him.
Oh, wow.
And if you watch the 3 Doctors, you can see him sort of, like, barely getting it, like barely getting the lines.
Like, you know, he was on death's door and everything, but, like, he was all for being in the 50th, which is cool, you know, and, like...
Not the 50th, like
not
the 10th.
My bad, not the 50th, the 10th anniversary, yeah. It's the 40th anniversary of the 3 Doctors and so forth.
Well, I think that's why they did 3 Doctors. Well, also because no one came back.
Yeah, that too.
Well, they couldn't use Peter. They might have been able to get away with Peter Davison.
I think they said all they needed to say with his thing. in
Yeah,
Time
Colin
Crash.
Baker could never ever come back. Sylvester McCoy could have come back, and Paul McGann could have come back.
Yeah.
Why can't Colin Baker come back?
He is gigantically fat.
That's true.
Even when he was still the Doctor, he put on a lot of weight.
He's gigantically fat and bald.
He has hot ass daughters though. Like he has some smoking daughters.
I'll look into that
That's
later.
the important part here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, 'cause he always does the weird, like bizarre things. It seems like when it comes to Doctor Who. Ever since
Colin Baker always seemed like
Because he quit, so I'm sure every time he's like, "Do you want me to come back?" They're like, "Well, you were the one that left."
Yeah. Well, then
I
he
mean,
could be like, "You're the one who put me in a goddamn clown suit and
Oh
made
no,
me
no,
choke
he
my
didn't.
companion."
They fired him. I forgot, but
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
he basically would have quit anyway.
Yeah,
It was like,
exactly.
but
strife.
like,
No, what happened was that they're like, "You're fired. Now do this regeneration
yeah,
scene."
yeah,
Yeah.
that's when he quit.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm never.
You're fired now. Get over there and die.
It's just what always stands out is that other show I watched, Top Gear, where he made an appearance as the Doctor.
He does like a lot of like
because he has never gotten work after that.
I guess.
Even in like the Five-ish Doctors, he's talking his claim to fame now. He's on the British version of "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here."
Yeah, like Peter Davison has worked consistently.
He's on Law and Order UK.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's worked consistently in England since Doctor Who.
And Sylvester McCoy at least has The Hobbit.
He's in The Hobbit. He's worked consistently since Doctor Who. Paul McGann has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And has been calling up the BBC every day, being like, "I'll come back."
Eccleston's doing Eccleston stuff.
Eccleston is the most successful out of any of them.
Is he really?
Out of any, I would say of any of the Doctors ever, I think Christopher Eccleston's probably the most, because he's in big Hollywood movies.
He's a Marvel villain.
He was in Thor. He was in
G.I.
Joe. He was in
Was he?
what was it? Yeah.
Yeah, he was Destro. He didn't become all silvery until the end, though.
What is it? 28 Days Later. He was in.
Oh yeah, he wasn't.
He's a Hollywood actor.
Yeah. You see, David Tennant's got the fucked up ponytail these days.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's like, it's for work, okay? I don't do this because I like it. I'm doing it for a job. Oh god. And Matt Smith, he said like on Graham Norton's show that they're doing tech for American Psycho now and everything. So he's signed on for that.
I'm so happy he's playing Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, it's perfect. He can do the running around monologuing thing, and now he's doing it while he's.
Is it on England's Broadway?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
All right. I was wondering if he was going to do an American accent.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of has to. It's American Psycho.
Yeah, it's pretty much Tom Cruise as a killer. So yeah.
Tom Cruise?
No, I mean like Patrick Bateman was based on Tom Cruise. In like the book American Psycho, there's a scene where Patrick Bateman gets into an elevator and he has a really awkward conversation with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even think. Oh, I guess he is. Yeah, he is Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I never put that together, but he is. Yeah, Patrick Bateman is Tom Cruise.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, that and Brett Easton Ellis's dad. Yeah, Tom Cruise and Brett Easton Ellis's dad is Patrick Bateman.
Wow.
Yep. It's all about, like, a friggin' dark satire of yuppies at the time.
It is, but then they do that weird ending where you're not sure if any of it happened.
That's the point.
I know it's the point, but it's weird. Like, it would have been, I think that would have been a better movie if that didn't happen. If there's really just, like, a white-collar, like 80s businessman that is a serial killer. Like, I think that's way
Would you prefer it if he gets arrested by Willem Dafoe and everything?
I always do.
Yeah. There's
No, I think it should have been like a mix of the Boondock Saints where Willem Dafoe just joins him and becomes...
Oh, God. Yeah, Boondock Saints 2. I can't believe that fucking thing happened.
fucking love Boondock Saints 2.
Really? I heard it wasn't bad.
Such an appropriate sequel to the first one. It is so loving to the first one. It doesn't... If you're a fan of the first one, the second one is good. If you don't know the first one, the second one makes no sense.
The first one was decent. It was a good movie. It wasn't amazing.
I love the first one.
Yeah.
I love those are two of my favorite. Wow, they're one of my favorite movies.
It's just that like I guess it was cool when it came out in its day, but like when I saw it when I was like a senior in high school, and by that time I was familiar with like Dexter and Death Note. The whole is it right for them to kill bad people? The whole thing.
But
was
but the thing is that like Dexter is a serial killer.
Yeah,
he does it because he likes killing people.
Mm-hmm.
The Boondock Saints are like, these are bad guys. Why aren't we just killing them? And they just go out and kill them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, there's a big difference there.
So now one of them is Daryl in The Walking Dead. I don't know what the other one.
He was in something recently, and I can't remember.
Oh, that's good.
He was in Powder a long time ago.
I don't even know what Powder is.
Where he played an albino guy that got struck by lightning.
That sounds right up my alley.
I forget what it was
Fuck
about.
Pulp Fiction. I want to see the albino get struck by lightning.
Wow.
I don't know why it's an option between Pulp Fiction and Powder. I don't know if they came out the same weekend or something.
Oh my god. No, but now with Doctor Who, we just wait until Christmas for Matt Smith's final episode. Then, unfortunately, we got to wait until fucking August for Series A, which, I mean, we'll get on with our lives.
Do you think Peter Capaldi will keep the current TARDIS desktop?
I mean,
kind of hope so, just because it's changed a lot in the past recently.
It's been less than a year since.
It's only been 2 in Matt Smith. He only had 2, Matt Smith.
I don't know. I feel like it's changing
That's
frequently.
one more than most doctors get.
I agree, but I think they changed it for Peter Capaldi. And to be honest,
okay, if they change it, then cool. I mean,
because picture what it looks like, and picture Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. Like, it's very sciencey.
Yeah.
Very, I think that was made for Peter Capaldi or the 12th Doctor.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Because if you think about it, it's only been what?
The new
9 episodes with that TARDIS.
The new TARDIS debuted in the last Christmas special, The Snowman. So ever since
Yeah, so
then.
probably only 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah, it was about 8 episodes or so.
Then leave it for now.
Because the Christmas episode was in the middle of season 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the Fiver's Doctors, there's it's like I told Kyle, it's pretty much an unofficial team up of the 6th, 5th, and 7th Doctors. It's got Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and Peter Davison trying to crash the filming of the 50th anniversary, and they stumble onto the current TARDIS desktop, and they all briefly go into character as their Doctor, how they would react to the desktop, and it's like. Sylvester McCoy's like, what's that up there? What was the TARDIS, a helicopter now? And Colin Baker's like, it's too dark in here. I like to see what I'm doing. Stuff like that. So it's cool. But
I'll look into that soon.
Yeah. So I guess, we might as well, if we're going to have 8 months off of Doctor Who, might as well get as much Doctor Who out there as we can. So, it was good. It was a good 50th anniversary and everything, and I just, shame we can't have more 11th Doctor, but, I'm looking forward to Peter Capaldi Doctor and everything, so there's that.
Isn't it weird, though? This is probably the last... They'll probably do a 75th anniversary, but we probably won't care about it by then.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't think when I'm 45 I'm going to be very interested. Or 48.
Yeah, we'll be all drafted into World War III by then.
Yeah, I'll be dead from... poor nutrition for 30 years.
Fuck you, I'm watching it.
Oh, God.
When it comes out, I'm going to watch it.
I'm sure I'll see it and be like, oh, I remember that 5-year period when I was into Doctor Who and then the thing happened.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah, World War III, apparently.
Oh, God.
Then the event.
The event. It'll happen, then it'll be canceled after 8 episodes by NBC.
Wait, how did you die of poor nutrition? What did you do?
It's what he didn't do, eat a healthy diet, but,
What did you eat?
Everything.
God.
That makes your heart stop.
Well, Doctor Who is Doctor Who.
Indeed.
That Tom Baker cameo, really.
Yeah.
Just how overacting he did it was like, this is so Tom Baker. And speaking of which, I watched a Tom Baker adventure today, all 4 parts of it.
Was it City of Death?
No, it was like the Ark, the space
Ark in
or
Space,
something.
I hear that was a good episode. Too.
Yeah, it was just like a random space adventure.
What I know about Tom Baker, apparently he tried to petition the Doctor to not have a companion and be by himself. That's why.
Well, he did have an ever-changing cast of characters.
He was on it for 7 years.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying once Sarah Jane left, he never really had anyone for a long time.
We had Leela and Romana
But then
and
he had
K9.
different Romana, and he had many different people come on.
Yeah. And by the time he died, it was pretty much the 5th Doctor's companions by the time he died.
Yeah. But,
5th Doctor got shafted with companions. They're just all hand-me-downs from the 4th Doctor.
He kind of got shafted in general because it was not. If you watch those, I like Peter Davison.
Yeah.
But they're gonna, the Master comes back, and that's an interesting series.
I didn't like they were trying. They just give him a different generation. Don't have the actor look like
exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just a beefier version of the original Master.
And it's they're a race that can change their faces. We know this from the Doctor.
Why don't just stupid. But that's one of the reasons why John Pertwee left. Because one thing he left because Joe Grant left, and he was good friends with the actor who played the Master, and he died in a car crash. And
I think he was also just done. He was another one that I just didn't, I didn't feel was too invested.
If Patrick Trout and John Pertwee were alive, and given the fact they'd probably at least be 90 years old each, they would probably, if they were able to do the 50th special as well, if they were able to,
I mean, maybe.
Patrick Trout was the Doctor who came back the most
in
every.
Dead for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Patrick Trout still was the Doctor who came back the most he was in every multiple Doctor episode.
They should just throw Dudley in.
Dudley?
Dudley from Harry Potter is Patrick Troughton's grandson.
No. In that episode, Midnight, the professor guy is Patrick Troughton's son, not Dudley the actor.
No, Dudley from Harry Potter.
Yes.
Is Patrick Troughton's grandson.
Let me look this up.
It's been going on for a while now.
That he was alive?
No. That he's the grandson.
The professor in Midnight is the son of Patrick Troughton.
And Dudley's his kid.
Someone was alive. Whoa.
I guess, or Patrick Troughton probably had multiple kids. I know for a fact that I have no idea what his name is except Dudley.
Yeah.
He's the grandson of Patrick Troughton, and he kind of looks like him if you really set up.
I guess.
In Adventure in Time and Space, wasn't it odd how young the guy who played Patrick Troughton was when they bring him in?
Yeah, that was weird. He did look really young.
He was
and
not
everything.
like Patrick Troughton was not young.
No, he had still had wrinkled face and everything.
Yeah.
I like Patrick Troughton. I like as one of my favorite classic doctors.
Well, because by that point they hadn't established what regeneration was.
It was just called renewal.
So he was sort of still an old guy. He just was a different.
But
old guy.
Second Doctor is the one who created the whole zany, crazy personality trait of the Doctor.
They also invented the Time Lords then.
Time Lords didn't show up until the end of the Second Doctor.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he didn't become a Time Lord until the end of Second Doctor. He didn't fight the Master until Third Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth and so on. But
so forth.
I don't know. Haha, so far I got it. But yeah, I mean
You're the one that made the joke.
Nah. But anyway, I don't know. Just I feel like I was telling you before, if they make a sequel to Adventure in Space and Time, it should be like the end of Doctor Who in the 80s, with Colin Baker, just Sylvester McCoy, and how the head of BBC just wanted Doctor Who to end, and
yeah.
And how Colin Baker got screwed over, they made him wear the costume, he got bad scripts, and got fired, and so on.
I don't know if BBC would want to
Probably
make
not.
themselves look that bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure Colin Baker would love that.
I'm surprised Mark Gatiss wrote a pretty good script too, because I like Mark Gatiss, but he hasn't always written the best scripts for Doctor Who. Or...
I love him. I mean, he's Sherlock. He's
Mycroft.
Yeah, but he's also one of the writers of Sherlock.
I know too. Yeah.
Which, did you see the trailer? The teaser.
I know he's alive.
Sherlock?
Sherlock's gonna be alive.
But did you see?
I did not see the trailer.
Did you see Watson's mustache?
No.
What?
Watson has a glorious mustache.
That's the important
Is
part.
he gonna wear a derby hat too?
Why would he wear a derby hat?
That's what Watson wears.
He's done. They did that before. They referenced it.
Derby hat?
When they
Really?
remember when they're walking out of the place and Sherlock grabs the deer cap and he puts a random hat on, and that's where the hats come from. That's the joke.
Oh. Well, I'm glad they made Watson competent, because that's the thing in the books. He was a war veteran and everything. He wasn't just a bumbling sidekick.
When is he bumbling?
In some, not in the show, in some incarnations of Sherlock Holmes,
That is a glorious mustache.
they portray Watson as a bumbling sidekick, just like
Yeah, but
Holmes.
Cartoony versions.
Yeah.
I don't know where to see
Sherlock
this.
Holmes in the 27th century.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh God, weird show.
Oh my God.
The Great Mouse Detective.
What's that?
That existed.
But fucking Elementary. Lucy Liu's Watson.
I have never watched an episode of that. And
I hear
never
it's
watch
not terrible.
It is awful.
I've never
Lucy
watched.
Liu is Watson. Who? What monster was developing this? And they were like, John Watson, the classic literary character from which we get all, his diaries were all the Sherlock Holmes adventures and the original bromance in British. Let's turn him into Lucy Liu.
They made Freddie Lounds from Red Dragon into a chick.
She's not the main character.
Yeah, that's true.
She is a background journalist.
Oh, damn. I mean, yeah, weird. There's 3 continuities of Sherlock Holmes going on right now. You got Sherlock, Elementary, and Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock. If they make
I think
a third
those are
movie.
over. I don't think they're
Really?
doing more.
They're ending with the second one?
Yeah, I don't think they have any more plans.
Damn.
It's weird. I heard that the love in Rachel McAdams dies in the first 5 minutes.
You never, not the first 5 minutes. First 20 minutes.
Yeah,
25
it's
minutes.
lame. Just sequel.
Well, no, because that's what makes Holmes go to Moriarty. Moriarty had her killed.
Yeah, Holmes is as a character never aside from Irene Adler never settled down with a girl or whatever.
That was Irene Adler.
Really? Rachel McAdams was Irene Adler.
Yeah.
Damn. Huh. But
Who's apparently a Marvel character? There's a Marvel character named Irene Adler.
So
wait, Destiny.
Destiny.
Mystique's
Oh yeah.
girlfriend of her.
Yeah.
She's Irene Adler.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think I saw a flashback thing, and Mystique was Sherlock Holmes.
No. Yeah. That's funny. But
Okay.
yeah, they've officially cast Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and everything. It's the people we thought it would be, Kick-Ass and all.
Which didn't they already confirm that?
Yeah, I think the fact that they've confirmed that they weren't sure they were still gonna have Quicksilver once Marvel Days of Future Past announced they were gonna have Quicksilver. They're definitely gonna do one's Quicksilver, one's Pietro, probably.
Well, because Days of Future Past, he's gonna be barely in it. He's gonna be a reference. He's gonna blur away, and that's it.
It's just gonna be Magneto visiting his house for a second.
I don't even think that. I think he's just gonna be a backup mutant.
Colossus, X-Men Last Stand style.
Yeah, he's just gonna be a backup mutant. I think he's gonna get less lines than Colossus.
That's
That's impossible.
That's impossible. Actually, it was 0 line. He had 1 line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Such bullshit. They can't be like, "Nice job, Logan," or fucking
Basketball special.
Yeah, Bryan Singer has to give him a line. Oh my god. I guess that's what we'll look forward to now with Doctor Who ending. Like, we'll look forward to
Marvel movies.
Winter Soldier
Pretty much.
and Guardians and what else?
Days of Future
Days of Future Past. Yeah, the thing I was just talking about.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. Nostalgia Critic did a review for Man of Steel.
I actually just saw that today.
It really is bringing Batman Begins, Man of Steel.
I love that movie.
I don't care. No,
I also love Batman Begins.
Batman Begins was good. You know why that was good? Because that's what Batman is. Superman isn't a brooding loner who has to, like, be an outcast from, like, everyone. Regardless of the fact that he's a god among men, he's not, like, he'll still be, like...
It's like in his 20s, he goes on a long walk.
I would buy him being naively positive, even if he's naive, I would buy him being, like, naively positive and happy over him being brooding and everything.
But the whole thing is he's in his 20s. He's trying to figure out who
the
he is.
best year of your life. The best years of your life.
How when you're Superman?
Your Superman should be even better. He can fuck any woman he
But he's gonna
wants.
be in his 20s forever.
Or he might accidentally kill them. Gotta remember that.
Yeah, or he could just kill them. Like, there was a thing, or like, the adventure that, the Honest Trailers guy did an animation thing, like, Man of Steel, the animated series. It was,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and just fucking, just cracks Luthor's neck and stuff, and go through his plan.
Yeah, I know, but come on. If everyone needs to stop pretending like there wasn't a reason he killed Zod, and there wasn't a reason people died in that movie. Like,
yeah, a lot of people died.
Yeah, because you know what?
How many people does Superman save?
Yeah, when 2 gods are throwing each other through buildings, people die.
Still, I
Reference
mean, like,
Dragon Ball Z for future evidence.
That really was, like, on Adult Swim, like, in those bumps. They're like, Man of Steel was the best episode of DBZ ever.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You know what? It happens.
2 Kryptonians fighting did more damage than a Chitauri invasion in the Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, they destroyed the world, basically.
Yeah.
But the Chitauri invasion did more damage. And they show you, they go out, if you watch Man of Steel, they pan out the camera to show you it was one, like, small area of Metropolis.
Still, I mean, like...
And the official number is approximately 55,000.
Yeah, which is bad.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be. That's
Yeah,
like...
It's not, like, insane.
The official is Zack Snyder being like, yeah, I think like 5,000 people probably.
That's like a private school, like, population or something. I don't know, or some...
You went to a private school, there's not even half of that!
Not like fucking St. John's Catholic High School. I mean, like, a boarding academy or something.
Even that's still
I think
unreal.
those are smaller, Jim.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
anything.
know.
Anyway, it was a weird comparison.
Yeah, seriously.
But the point is, what was Superman supposed to do? Stop fighting Zod? So
The family
Zod
could have run
kill
away.
him?
He could have punched Zod in the balls to break his concentration.
Well, no, he was holding him.
I mean,
Was he going to move his hand so Zod could move his hand to break
in all
him? He was
fairness,
holding
like
him back.
the Nostalgia Critic pointed out, Zod was killed in the original Superman movies too.
Well, Zod has been killed so many goddamn.
Yeah, he actually has.
Well,
He was.
No, he got thrown down a pit of never-ending sadness.
And technically, Lois killed Ursa too. So
But the whole ending to Superman 2 was a little weird. Involves like a plastic ass. And...
Fair enough.
But I mean, he killed Zod in the comics.
Yeah, well, not by snapping his neck, by exposing him to kryptonite.
But it's not like he wanted to snap
that might
his
be
neck.
honestly for a Kryptonian. That's a crueler death.
I mean, but it's not about how Zod died. It's about how Superman kills him. Like if I like poison somebody, I think it's less evil than grabbing someone by their head and just twisting it around. But again, to Superman's credit, he had him in a headlock. Was he going to let him go to hit him somewhere else?
Why didn't he fly and grab him with him or something?
Because he probably was stuck. If he moved, Zod could have broken out. That's the whole point. He had him in a
It doesn't
grapple.
matter how many different scenarios I point out. Superman always killed Zod, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
He did, but what's the problem with that?
I mean, it's cool if they did in the comics, but like to make it such a big deal in the movies, it's like they went out of their way to make Superman
It was a big deal.
Mr. American Flag, smiling with the closed eyes, smiling kind of guy.
It was
like brooding.
It was a big deal because it had to be a big deal. Superman can't kill him and it not be a big deal. It's not like he was happy about it. He literally flipped out, screamed, and like broke the ground afterwards.
Yeah.
In the comics, like in whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and he killed Mixius Pit, like he retired.
I know, but because Mixius Pillock looked like a small child.
No, well, not really. He was
Small,
really
bald, floating child.
He was really just a purple abomination person. And Superman's like, no matter who it is, nobody has the right to kill, even Superman.
I know, but that's a different universe. There's different versions of Superman. Look at Superman in the comics today.
Alright.
Isn't Man of Steel Superman better than what we have going on in the New 52?
Yeah, yes it is.
He at least feels bad when he does something shitty.
Yeah, and for Man of Steel, for all the reasons I didn't like, at least Henry Cavill I believed him as Superman.
He
and
was
everything.
absolutely great.
He was good.
And I love that Lois Lane figured out that he was Superman.
It's not that she figured out, it's just that he showed up and that,
She
you're
tracked down
Superman.
Clark Kent. She went to his house.
Mm.
That's pretty... Like, it makes her, believable as a journalist.
Yeah. I mean, the friggin' hokey line. I'm Lois Lane, Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
They always say that, though.
That was hokey as shit, though, the way it was delivered. I mean...
They always say that.
Yeah, but not as, like, friggin'... I don't know, like, on the nose as that.
I mean, Superman Returns, they just kept
And another
out the fact
thing,
there was a plaque for
Henry
her.
Cavill's like 31 years old. Like they went out of their way to say that Superman was 33 in the movie, and they really overdid it with like the Christ references.
There was
and everything.
two.
There was more than two.
There were two.
I can only think of two.
One's not even a Christ reference. He just talks to a priest.
Yeah, seriously.
No. Then there's three. The scene where he falls back to Earth and he's like this.
Keep talking.
Scene where he's like going back. He just talked to the Jor-El interactive construct, and he's just falling back to Earth, and he's in a Christ pose.
Yeah.
And everything. I mean, I get that there have been comparisons to Superman and
Always.
Jesus before, but like,
He's gotten crucified.
when was he crucified?
I forgot. I don't know. I read a book.
How could he be crucified? What was
There were
was
like
the cross-
kryptonite stakes.
Oh, yeah. Kryptonite cross.
Kryptonite cross.
Oh my god. I mean, like, you know, they're gonna have to introduce... Kryptonite wasn't in Man of Steel, and they're gonna have to, like, introduce it in World's Finest. I'm calling it. I don't care what they call it. It's always gonna be World's Finest to me.
Batman of Steel.
I love how I think we've kind of said everything we could about Doctor Who, like, currently.
Yeah,
and
I
we
mean,
kinda
what else are
moved
we gonna
on.
talk? I mean,
Yeah. It was good. We liked the special. I mean, it was good.
It was
Good-
wonderful.
Good for Steve Moffat. He pulled it off, you know?
That was easily the most impressive thing he's written on Doctor Who.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, like, you know, I pulled it off. He was like, look, I got Tom Baker cameo. What more do you people want from me?
No, I couldn't get Christopher Eccleston.
He, like,
He
introduced...
wouldn't come back.
He said that he kind of knew that Eccleston wouldn't come back. Like, he was like, yeah, it was never... Doctor's never Chris's biggest priority in the world.
Yeah, that's
Understatement.
Putting it lightly.
Yeah. But, no, just, it's good. And, like, what else with... Yeah, I mean, next summer we'll have, fucking Superman vs. Batman, Avengers 2, and all that. So.
That's gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah. I saw on, like, that show Mad, they did a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. parody and everything.
Mad is like the weird, weird kids show that has references not that like the kids don't know.
Yeah,
about.
it's like, you see a commercial for the show, oh, it's just some dumb fucking Cartoon Network show. Then you watch it, like, wow, this is actually stuff that we would get and everything. And, like, kids, like, the age demographic, there was definitely be jokes over their head.
They, like, mix, like, current day kid stuff with, like, 80s kids stuff.
No, it's like, it's from it's like a Mad magazine. They always, like,
Yeah.
do movie parodies and everything. It's by the Mad Writers and everything. I used to buy Mad magazine back and Wizard magazine. Then I realized that Wizard magazine wasn't fucking worth $5 for all the stuff I could just read online.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say,
everything.
then you realize the internet existed.
Yeah,
and-
that's why Wizard went out of business and everything.
I mean, yeah, but what was gonna happen? They knew
Yeah.
it. I'm sure they were just holding on.
They have a website now, and the website's not that great either. But Yeah, I don't know. So we got that, and what comics are coming out? I know you haven't been reading Forever Evil, but for Forever Evil issue number 4, there's an image of Batman using Sinestro Core ring and everything.
Really?
Yeah, against Power Ring from Earth 3.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's interesting and everything. So, and he shows Catwoman in the Batcave because like Hush didn't happen anymore. And
Oh, right. Even though Hush probably exists.
Yeah, probably Hush exists.
They just took certain parts out.
Yeah, exactly. They have no fucking clue what's still in continuity and what isn't. But and it's cool and everything. Yeah, Jose is back.
We've just been very, very subtle about it because I'm quiet enough as it is.
Okay.
Whatever.
Too late. Thanks, Matt.
Is Catwoman even like a good guy?
She's
guy?
She's an anti-hero. She was never even like the worst. The only people she ever murdered was Black Mask, and that was because he tortured her sister. And
No, but they're like my problem with it is that she just showed up as sort of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But in the old DCU, it was many years of her being a bad guy who then turned into an anti-hero.
I think they just settle anti-hero. There's more stories to tell with anti-hero instead of flat-out bad guy.
I know, but an anti-hero that starts out as a bad guy is more of an anti-hero.
Well,
Because you don't know when they're going to turn.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
But she's not the type of like she's like, kind of like the mentality of the rogues. They're not they're not going out of their way to kill people and hold the city hostage. They just want to steal stuff.
They're just thieves.
Exactly, so that's cool. But Catwoman she'll beat people up if they get in her way, and she'll ditch people or whatever, and she'll steal stuff, but that's about it,
What is her background these days? 'Cause she's not a
I don't
prostitute
know.
right
I
now.
don't know what her backstory is. She got raped in college, and it's always been a crusade to fight against the men who wronged her.
Really?
No, that was Black Cat. Kevin Smith's Black Cat.
Oh,
origin.
right. I was going to say, that sounds familiar.
The evil that men do.
Yeah.
God, he didn't get paid for that at all. Like Kevin Smith, he forgot to sign the contract.
I'm sure he just.
Plus, it was like it was a 3-year gap between issue that ended with Black Cat about to
he
get
never
raped.
finished it. I'm pretty sure.
He did.
He still gets complaints about something.
He gets complaints. Well, he did finish it eventually.
Yeah, I guess it just took years.
Yeah, he had he created the Mysterio and everything. It was weird. He had the bad guy was molesting his younger brother and everything, and Catwoman, Black Cat, they're probably the same fucking character.
Basically.
Black Cat got raped in college, and she tried. Ever since her career as a thief has been a crusade against men, kind of thing.
Which is weird because stealing is not really vengeance.
Yeah, it's weird. And the boyfriend that raped her died in a car crash, so she had all this vengeance. She had to dish out to some other people now, or whatever.
Vengeance.
Yeah, fuck it. Oh, could be worse. Could be justice. Arrow to the head. God.
Oh my lord.
No, but I don't know.
Kind of sidetracked what the intent of this episode was.
Yeah, we were talking.
We were talking about that. How we kind of ran out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Overall, 50th we really enjoyed the 50th. We lived up to the hype, and
it's hard just to keep talking about how good something is.
It is,
That's
yeah.
true. I'll give it that.
But so wait, when you told me the theaters the Osgood, they say the curator gave
No, but
her.
it has to be. She
Yeah.
worked in the museum that he was the curator of, and that's his scarf.
I thought that was Kate Stewart's daughter for a second. Then
or
I forgot
girlfriend or something.
Yeah, then I forgot that mom is how they address women
yeah.
commanders.
How does everyone still not know this?
It's a across the pond thing,
But we all watch Doctor Who. It's not even just
when
you,
Rory called Amy mom, I still found that creepy in Wedding River song.
No, mom is the reference to a female higher up than you.
Yeah, exactly.
We took that and we made that the slang version of mother. They took that and made the slang version of mother mum. Mom is ma'am. We took the official version and we turned it into ma'am.
Seeing you say mom reminded me of Stewie Griffin. Thinking of Stewie Griffin reminded me how the most ridiculous.
We're gonna talk about this.
Oh boy.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
I don't know.
They got they're really gonna have Polly from the fucking Sopranos be the family dog forever. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, so they killed Brian. Oh,
Yeah, they like.
guy.
I always used to toy around with the fact that, you know what, I would really love to see Family Guy just like flat out do a dramatic episode, no jokes, just like
Well,
actually
did you ever
do.
see the episode where
They're in
Stewie
the-
and Brian
yeah.
are in the bank vault or
I mean,
whatever?
he eats his shit. I don't consider it that
Yeah,
serious.
but that was a fucked up weird episode.
Because, like, they went out of their way not to have cutaways and
Yeah,
flashbacks.
but yeah, they killed Brian. He just got hit by a car and he died.
Which they didn't show the driver. It's probably, he's gonna reinvent the time machine. He was the driver that ran over Brian or something.
or Brian's the driver.
It's gonna be something. They're gonna explain who the driver. They wouldn't just let the driver be anonymous like that, you know?
Or
And,
they
like-
might. That might have been the point.
Really?
Yeah, it might have been the point, just to like shock and all. Because the whole point, if you're killing, supposedly this is not a
Stunt.
Like, this is not a a stunt, but it's not a temporary thing. Supposedly this is true. Like Brian's gone, and they're moving it. Like they're doing
I don't
a story. I don't know if Vinny's gonna be around forever.
Yeah, I don't
Hope
picture
not,
that.
based on what I'm
I
hearing.
don't even dislike Vinny.
Yeah, I
He's
liked
okay.
him. I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
I liked when he had the moment with Stewie.
It is funny, fucking Paul. If you watch The Sopranos, Paulie is so like friggin' ridiculous. Now him
Yeah.
being toned down is like this nice dog.
But if if you think about it, I don't know. Like it would be interesting for a little while. But Brian is not like he's, I would say, like the third main character of the
Yeah,
show.
like a lot of the. He was Seth MacFarlane's mouthpiece a lot of the time.
like it's Peter, Stewie, and Brian are the main characters of the show.
Yeah, it was always Stewie and Brian doing something. And
Yeah.
now so no more Road to Blank Adventures.
Oh.
No more of those, unless it's with Vinny. But I mean, and yeah, just like, now we just got Peter doing stuff stupid. Now we're just gonna have Stewie doing evil things. But now we're not gonna have like the.
Wouldn't that be awesome? If Stewie like turns back to like real evil Stewie
Yeah.
because of Brian's death.
Oh God. But I don't know. I mean, like I doubt it'll be a permanent thing. Like the Cleveland show got canceled. I mean, he's moving back to Quahog.
Yeah, but he moved. He didn't get hit by a car and
I
die.
know. Oh. They had that whole episode where Stewie kills Lois, and then it turned out to be a dream.
I know, but that's the whole point. Is they're saying that's not what this is. They're saying Brian died.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't really know. I don't know. I don't buy it. I'm suspicious of it.
I am too, but supposedly what they're saying is like, don't be suspicious. Brian's dead. We're moving on. We're trying something different.
Well, they were like, is Brian coming back? So they were like, no comment, you know? And like, and you can also tell, I don't know if it's because the Family Guy is desperate or the Simpsons are desperate, but they're doing a crossover, Simpsons and Family Guy next year.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
I know they're doing a Simpsons Futurama crossover.
Really?
Yeah.
It's weird how they
Bart,
do that.
Bart, like,
Simpsons
Bart
is a
destroys
show
the
in
future.
Futurama, and Futurama's a show in The Simpsons.
apparently they also both coexist. Because Bart becomes Bart ruins the future and Bender goes back in time to kill him.
So wait, is there going to be an event that makes everybody not yellow or something? Or like, it doesn't
Maybe.
make any sense.
There will probably be a joke about that.
There has to be a joke. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Maybe he sets off the nuclear bomb that it reverses it.
The Simpsons should just be an alternate Earth where everybody's yellow or something, and for some reason it's still set in the 21st century. It's like the Amish of the Futurama or something.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know you don't watch Boardwalk Empire, but they kill off the best character on that show too.
You're saying Brian was the best character on?
No, it wasn't the best character, but they killed off on Boardwalk Empire. They killed off the fan favorite character on that show. So I don't know what else there's on that show aside from Steve Buscemi and Omar from The Wire, I guess. But even his character, Chalky White, his character gets messed up and everything. So, it just sucks. Just unfortunate, but what can you do? This is why I think I watch too much TV when my emotions are being controlled by the lives and deaths of these fictional characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
But I mean, I don't know. I'll be sad when the 11th Doctor finally regenerates, but he.
I'm okay with it. I've been okay with it for a while.
Yeah. I always knew it was gonna happen. You have to. It's given with any Doctor, and
It is.
they'll just, no matter how main their Doctor seems in their episode,
Although it kind of seem like from day one they were like, is he gonna die now? The end of season 5, he dies, he falls down the stairs, you see him die.
yeah,
He reboots the universe and you think he goes off to die.
yeah,
The end of season 6, he literally dies. The first episode he dies, and then the end he dies.
yeah.
It's a constant stream. Then season 7, you see his grave. It's a constant stream of him dying.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know about that. thing about Steve Moffat's a good writer too, but you can always he always uses the same like type of themes and like objects in all of his stories.
Yeah, I know.
You can like pick them. Even like you go back and watch like The Empty Child and Dr. Dance, you can see like those same things, like the TARDIS phone ringing and everything, and like memories and whatever.
Yeah, I mean the silence and the weeping angels are, if you're not looking at them, both something.
Yeah, something happens.
Yep.
That'd be cool to see like the silence and the weeping angels be in the same episode together. I wonder if they'll all do a thing there.
They fight.
Fight. It's weird, like, people give the episodes Time of the Angels and Flush of Stone. I think they're good episodes, but people give them flack because, like, it shows the angels moving and snapping people's necks instead of sending them back in time.
It is weird. It is, what do you call it?
Odd, I guess?
Not odd, it's continuity breaking.
Yeah.
But
I think what I read is, like, Steve Moffat was like, I created the Weeping Angels, I can pretty much do whatever I want to do with them.
Yeah.
I guess that is kind of a good point. He did create them, so if he has this new feature, then it's like an image of an angel as an
your
angel.
eye, that always kind of bugged me.
So anyone who ever saw an angel ever does not mean that they
it's
have
only on TV apparently.
Yeah, it's only on TV. Oh god, I did love the bit like in the 50th where like their doctor's like timey-wimey, what the hell is that? And Chandler's like, I don't know where he gets that from.
No idea.
Oh god. But no, just yeah. Hopefully the fucking Christmas special lives up to that hype now, which thankfully it's only a month away instead of like waiting 6.
But it's not hype, so like we know it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think he'll probably save the day, and at the last minute something will happen where he has to save somebody's life or just get zapped. And then
the only thing I want to know, and it's not going to happen, but it's gonna be a shame. It is going to be a shame because I know this is how it's gonna happen. That the Ponds are not in his regeneration episode. Like, he doesn't even go and visit them somehow.
I always thought that he like show up like the night Rory proposed to Amy.
Yeah,
or something
like that. Because they are, Amy Pond is his best friend ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever. Like,
he should have like when Fifth Doctor was regenerating, he had like visions of his companions. Like, he should do that.
Or
like...
David Tennant went and visited every single companion the Doctor ever had.
Yeah, but he had time to do that.
Which
so who knows if
weird.
Matt's
Like,
going to be a lot.
No other Doctor got the chance to like prolong their regeneration, to say goodbye, to take the time to say goodbye to his companions.
Yeah,
it was always kind of, I'm regenerating, gotta like take care of this right now, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if it's anywhere near as emotional as the 10th Doctor's regeneration was, then it'll be good, I just hope his like last word's not like a whimper, because like,
well, no, he claims that like Matt Smith says that he wants. I guess he knows now, but. He wants his Doctor to go out with a bang, but with like a funny moment too.
Exactly. I always pictured the 11th Doctor's last one was like him looking in the mirror, and making a bunch of silly faces before he regenerates, because that kind of like sums up that Doctor. He was always the silly one, one of the silly ones.
Yeah.
You can group up like the Doctors from like the serious ones, the silly ones, the young ones,
and the other ones.
The other ones, yeah.
But he said he took a lot of he looked at Patrick Troughton for a lot of his.
Patrick Troughton getting executed and like...
No, I mean for his like inspiration for the Doctor.
Well, yeah, you can definitely tell he modeled himself off the second Doctor. I thought you meant like for the regeneration scene.
No, yeah, he got executed. That's weird. It's time to change your face once again, Doctor.
You can't just change my face without consulting me. No, you can't do this to me. No. That kind of sucks. That's almost as bad as the last words of a Doctor.
Yeah.
Oh god. Or bumping your head on the console or whatever.
Yeah. I hope he pulls a what do you call it? Colin Baker and when Peter Capaldi's first act is to like choke out the new companion or choke out Clara.
That'd be so bad. Everybody would hate the Doctor.
Well, that's what happened with Six.
Exactly.
He woke up and like attacked Perry.
Dude, the Doctor. It's the most important moments of the Doctor. Is like the minutes after regeneration. It's first impression.
Yeah, it's like, die, motherfucker.
Cool. Our Doctor is like domestically abusing his companion.
Because that'll roll well in today's day and age.
Perry's like, well, I asked for it, I said his jacket looks stupid.
The roast was burnt.
Sometimes dinner just isn't ready on time, Oh, God. It's terrible. But, I don't know. Like, I always wanted to, like, with the fucking Doctor Who fanfic, I always wanted to write With the classic Doctors, there's around a second Doctor story and a sixth Doctor story. Just because I just want to, I don't know, make the sixth Doctor work somehow.
Well, it's just hard because you're writing it with a current day sensibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, like, you either reuse classic Doctor Who monster, or you have to, like, come up with a new one and everything. It's weird.
I mean, you could reuse.
Like, Neil Gaiman came up with, like, the kin for, like, the 11th Doctor story I told you about.
Oh, yeah.
They're, like, beings who, like, they're their own father, mother, and son and kid. Because, like, they, like, go back in time and, like, you know, because they, like, exist. And,
On
like,
my own grandpa.
Sort of.
Essentially is what it sounds like.
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing or whatever. It's weird. But, yeah. But, yeah, it made, like, Nothing O'Clock's a good story. But looking back, it's kind of like what you said. It's not canon. Because, like, it takes place in Series 5. But Amy references Rory, like, several times. So it's either, like...
During the, like, when he's supposed to be non-existent.
Yeah, exactly. So it's either, like, right before Time of the Angels, or it's, like, after Rory died, just an error, like, Amy remembering him.
There is a lot of time when Rory's just non-existent.
Yeah, it's weird. They go to Space Florida and everything.
Yeah. No Space Florida.
I hope Craig makes a cameo in, like, the
No, I want Craig's son to show up.
That would be cool.
Stormageddon, Dark Lord of all.
God.
There was one scene somewhere that they kind of that some people speculate
yeah,
it was him.
I was telling him about that.
Because when they put him in, so like Stephen Moffat was like, I'm gonna write this baby and give him a funny nickname, so one day I can use him as a major villain or like.
No, he wasn't a villain. He was a soldier.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm saying one day they're going to bring him back in a big way. Because he is too funny, and you can tell Stephen Moffat loves Craig.
Yeah.
Based on, just how those episodes went.
But yeah, there's a theory that, like, the soldier, he's heavy-set, looks vaguely like Craig. Like,
it was in the Cyberman episode.
Yeah, the Nightmare in Silver. It would actually be cool, but that episode takes place, like, centuries in the future.
He could be a descendant, he can't be that kid.
Alright, that makes more, that's true.
I would just love to see the camera be like, Craig, I was joking, it's not Storm again, babies can't fucking talk. I was just kidding.
I was being quirky, that's what I, like Peter Capaldi talking to Craig.
Yeah.
Being like, I was being quirky, that's what I used to do, I don't do that anymore.
I was very miffed by today's transactions. To show you how miffed I am, I'm going to use violent sexual imagery to illustrate how miffed I am.
Oh my god.
Is that him talking about how Craig raised the supervillain?
Something about that. It's a Malcolm Tucker clip.
I know, I heard it. Oh man, I can't wait for him.
You know that in like the thick of it or in the loop, whatever it is, like the glasses, Christopher fucking Robin. That actor is 40. He looks like he's our age. That actor is 40 years old.
He's Chris Hardwick.
No, he's not. Oh,
he's British Chris Hardwick.
How old is Chris Hardwick?
42.
Jesus, I thought he was like 35.
No, he's old.
Damn, man, what can you do?
He's the same age as Will Wheaton, who also looks ridiculous.
Will Wheaton, yeah. But Will Wheaton, I guess. Aqualad. But
Wheaton.
I don't know. I never seen an episode of Star Trek Next Generation with Wesley. Maybe I have.
He's in like most, except like the last couple seasons.
Yeah. I watched one today, The Chains of Command, and it was pretty decent.
He's in most of them. You just probably won't notice because I don't think he's a main character in most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like everybody hates Wesley or whatever. Yeah. Like there's a scene where Picard's like, "Shut up, Wesley!" Like apparently they wrote him to say, like even when they were still on the air, like people. They could tell it.
Well, no, at the time, like he was in like Teen Beat and like Tiger
Teen Beat.
Yeah, like
that's the most '90s sounding like '90s magazine ever.
What was it? Chris Hardwick had him on the podcast because they're best friends. They lived together. They were best friends, and he was making fun of Will for being like when you were young, you were in. He had to. His mom would be like, you have to do all these interviews for like Tiger Beat, Teen Beat, Tiger Teen, and Beat Teens.
You know what else? I never realized that Joseph Gordon-Gecko was on Third Rock from the Sun with like John Lithgow.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Gecko. I call him just Gordon-Gecko.
He wasn't in that movie.
Not movie, TV show. Third Rock from the Sun.
No, I
John
know.
Lithgow.
Gordon-Gecko.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was his first like main thing.
I thought Angels in the Outfield was.
I know, but Third Rock from the Sun was bigger than Angels in the Outfield.
I guess.
It ran for years.
I never watched. I know the guy's an alien, and he'll one day be the best.
They're all aliens, I think.
Well, no, it's aliens living with a family. It's Harry and the Hendersons, but it's in outer space.
I think it's a whole family of aliens.
All of them are aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just aliens crashing with a human family.
No.
I never watched it. I don't know. I mean,
I didn't watch it either, but I'm
Yeah.
implying it's a. I mean, I did watch. It's weird because I never watched that, and I watched Angels in the Outfield many times.
I watched Angels in the Outfield like maybe 5 times. I don't know. Friggin'.
Have you ever seen Angels in the End Zone?
Yes, unfortunately I have. Like when I was a kid and it was like a Disney Channel original movie or some shit.
Doc
fucking
Brown, don't.
What?
I said Doc Brown, don't.
Oh yeah, Doc Brown. Yeah, well it was cool when he was in the first
That was
movie.
fine, but yeah, the second one.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Christopher Lloyd, like he was like a legitimate actor and he still kinda is. It's weird. I always see, you know, the producer Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Like I always see that on like Modern Family or like or even Frasier. Like I see Christopher Lloyd. Like, I was like Christopher Lloyd was a producer, but no, it was always a different guy.
Yeah.
I've been watching Frasier a little bit too lately. It's okay. I mean, it's all.
You're watching Frasier?
I get up at like 10 in the morning. There's nothing good on TV.
That's what Netflix is for.
Yeah, but I don't have Netflix on my TV. I only have it on my laptop, and it's downstairs and upstairs.
Then don't you have an Xbox?
Yeah, but like I don't have it live.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You don't need a gold account,
You
do
need
you?
gold.
That is the biggest load of bullshit ever.
Yeah.
It started like last year.
I didn't realize.
That's why I got gold again.
I didn't even realize that, to be honest. My gold is automatically renewed, so I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I mean, like I was considering getting GTA 5 online, but like that, like urge kind of like eventually didn't get, and that urge kind of like subsided, and I kind of like got
You're
over
like, good
it.
choice, Pat.
Yeah, it was because like I didn't even know how it would work. I had to get a separate memory stick for like just for Grand Theft Auto 5 because it takes up 8 gigs just to install it. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, that's
It's a
sweet.
2-disc thing. Once for installing it, once for playing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Arkham Origins is 2 discs. I still haven't figured out what the fuck the second disc is
Oh,
for.
that's great.
You didn't just put it in and see?
I haven't. I just have been playing the game. I'm enjoying it overall.
You probably look at the disc and it probably tells you what it is.
Yeah,
I
one says installation, one says like
Well, he's clearly
walkthrough.
playing the game.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I'll look at it another time. But just to cat. I'm enjoying the game a lot so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea, the Batwing concept is probably the best thing ever.
Well, isn't it just fast travel?
Yeah,
So
but
you don't fly it,
yeah, but honestly, that's fucking amazing.
I guess.
It's just they gave the fast travel option Origins.
Because that was the thing that pissed me off about Arkham City.
I mean, Arkham City wasn't that big. I didn't mind like
Yeah,
gliding
that was
around.
the only thing I liked about Arkham
I like
City.
the thing where you could like dive down, then like go up like really far and everything.
Well, then, on that perspective, fucking Gotham is huge in Origins.
I heard the city was kind of lifeless.
It feels like you're still in Arkham City, but it is massive.
I guess.
Like it takes like a full minute and a half to cross the one bridge in the middle of the city.
You know what was really good? I think it was Spider-Man 2 and 3, the game.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man 2, the game was really good in
was
terms of
so
like
open.
exploring New York and everything.
Oh, that was- yeah, I remember
You
that.
go from like coast to coast
Yeah. I do.
of New York, not the country.
Oh yeah. God, it came out so long ago, but like, yeah, I do remember playing that as a kid. Be like, wow, this is a good open world for like a movie tie-in game, you know?
Yeah.
But damn, fucking, I don't care about Amazing Spider-Man. I'm never gonna care about
I
Amazing
really
Spider-Man.
don't. It's crazy.
I'm
how
never
little
gonna
I
care about it. I'm never gonna give a shit
Know why though? Do you know why you don't care?
because it's obviously an unnecessary reboot, and
No.
I don't give a shit about the origin that I've seen a billion times. It's the same story.
That's not why you don't care. That's why
Why?
you think you don't care. But the reason you don't care is we have the new Captain America movie coming out. We have Days of Future Past coming out. We have
Yeah.
friggin' Avengers 2 and Batman and Superman next summer. It's because we have so many goddamn awesome superhero movies. If this
Yeah.
was just if we have not had this litter of awesome superhero movies, it was just another Spider-Man movie, we would all be lined up being like, oh yeah, Amazing Spider-Man.
That's the thing. Back in the day, like 10 years ago, the Spider-Man
Yeah.
movie was the big
It
thing.
was the
And
only
now
thing
we
we
have,
had.
now look at it. We have this giant catalog of like movies, and like I don't give a shit about the post credits. Oh, what went on with Peter Parker's parents? He worked with Kirk Connors. I don't give a holy shit if he worked with Norman Osborn and the rest of the goddamn Illuminati. But like,
I actually would. That'd be
not
awesome.
that Illuminati. Like,
If
the-
suddenly Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Black Panther, and Stephen Strange show up.
I mean, I'm glad Andrew Garfield wants there to be a crossover. I want there to be a crossover. I'm sure, like, Robert Downey Jr. would be okay with Spider-Man, but, like, it's not up to us. It's up to Sony and Marvel and everything. And Sony's never gonna fork over like their meal ticket with Spider-Man.
What is Disney now? So Disney might at some point have enough money that they're just like, gimme, and just throw it.
Like, fuck you, here's some Mickey Mouse money, give us
They
Spidey.
paid a flat-out billion for all of Marvel in general. So, like, what do you think
they paid $4 billion for Star Wars.
Really, $4 billion?
4.05 billion.
Damn, I thought Marvel would be more. I guess it's a big franchise.
It's Star Wars.
I know. Yeah.
Star Wars is the biggest movie franchise ever.
That was kind of like discouraging. Like, they didn't consider making new movies until Disney bought them and everything.
Because they never planned to.
That's the thing. Like, that sucks.
Why?
What are they gonna do? More Clone Wars series?
Yeah, more TV shows, more video games, more friggin'...
The second Disney took over, they like put down like the Mickey Mouse swastika, and they were like, chop chop, have a new movie out by 2015.
No, it's because everyone wanted a new movie except George Lucas, and he was the head of LucasArts.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Lucas,
If I had I would not, if George Lucas, you're like, Pat, I want to meet George Lucas. I would have to have a clear schedule. I wouldn't break a schedule to meet George Lucas.
I'm flat out saying I don't think I want to meet George Lucas, ever. Because I'm never going to say to him what I want to say to him. And otherwise, what would I be like? Good job. I like those movies.
I would ask him if he was reptilian, for starters. And, then I'd be like, I don't know. There's no point. Just like...
Because there's no, like, where did you get your inspiration? Star Wars isn't all that inspired. It's sort of a basic storyline set in space. It's just very cool for the time and epic in years to come.
Yep.
We made Star Wars what it was. George Lucas didn't make Star Wars what it was. I can't be like, the prequels suck, because he'd be like, I know, everyone I've ever met in the last 10 years has told me that. I can't say Jar Jar Binks. He'd be like, I know. Every single person I've met in the past 10 years has told me that.
I mean, I'd be scared of like yelling at him. Then you like have this big outburst, and all of a sudden like, yeah, I just did it for the merchandising. I was like really into it for the money, and I admit I did like some like more, ill-advised things, but yeah, I did. And then you'd be like, wow, you kind of admitted what I was screaming at you for. Now I kind of feel like an ass for yelling at you like that.
But I'm really into Red Tails now.
Red Tails. Yeah, he directed that, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was planning on having like 6 movies.
6 movies? Yeah, how did...
And then just nobody went.
It was just table scraps from The Wire, and I think Bryan Cranston was there too for some reason. That was weird.
Oh my god. Yeah, but I can honestly say there's nothing I would say to him. There's nothing I could say to him. I would just be like, Howard the Duck.
Quack.
2.
Do they have like a little person play Howard the Duck, or did they Deep Roy?
He looked like a puppet.
He was not a puppet. There was somebody moving around.
Yeah, so it's probably, I don't know, it was probably like an R2-D2 affair.
R2-D2 was like, you could make, that was a tin suit with somebody in it. This is Howard the Duck. This is somebody wearing a Halloween. It was either a kid or a little person.
Or a little kid.
Okay, I mean, like, I hope a little kid didn't play that Howard the Duck, and, like, where he's working.
Actually, to be fair, he's less controversial than some Howard the Ducks I've seen.
Yeah, at one point Howard the Duck got turned into a rat, and all of a sudden that was, like, all, like, really mature or something. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He got turned into a rat at one point for some reason.
I never read it, but I know it.
Yeah. Oh, and Wolverine the X-Men had the cool, like, dupe team up with Howard the Duck.
Yes!
Cool. The dupe and the duck!
I love that dupe is, like, this ongoing joke of he's the most amazing being that has ever lived.
Okay.
It's just so weird how Wolverine the X-Men combines like all different continuities from all over. Like Morrison,
Wolverine the X-Men is the best book.
It is definitely. It's definitely Marvel's best book without a doubt. And Dupe usually he read X-Statix or something one day. He just saw a picture of him and he was like, I want that in my run.
Forever.
It's in my run. Oh God.
And they did an A+X. They did. Did you see? It's like an Avenger and an X-Man teaming up.
Yeah.
It was Iron Fist and Dupe.
Really?
We're fighting ninjas.
Dupe's got like the brass knuckles with Dupe written on them and everything.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jose, Dupe is like, think of Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Now add Alien, and that's pretty much Dupe.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's like no reasonable explanation for him.
What he is.
Yeah.
Why he's hanging out with the X-Men of all people.
Yeah.
What qualifies him to be your professor?
And apparently he can't die.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, like apparently he gets like killed a lot.
Yeah. And he has no gender. He's like boy and girl.
Yeah. There's like an issue. I forget if it's Wolverine the X-Men, but like it shows Dupe's entire day.
Yeah, that's the Wolverine the X-Men. He leaves like having an affair with like the governor and then the governor's wife and everything.
Basically, he does all like the dirty work for the school.
Yeah. Oh god.
Wow. Which you think would be Wolverine's job.
And he's like, and it shows how Wolverine got Dupe to agree to work at the school, and he's like, all right, after I do, like, he dresses up as like Silver Age Cyclops. He's like, hi, my name is James, and this is me putting a knife through my face. Snakes. Oh god. Yeah, like that was crazy. How like Wolverine's adamantium bones are broken. He's in the wheelchair for a little bit.
Yeah, that was
the cool image of Wolverine, like the wheelchair, just like said so much.
Yeah.
And then like he lost his healing factor in like the recent books or something. I don't know. It was weird.
I think it's back though. I don't know. It was sort of I hate when they take away his healing factor.
Yeah, it was weird reading the first 10 issues of Wolverine X-Men. It was weird because like they're all tying in directly with Avengers versus X-Men and everything.
Yeah, and then it ties in eventually to like the all new X-Men stuff, which is good. I
didn't know Hope's powers was power mimicry.
It's mimicry, and then like some god.
I always just assumed she was pretty much just Jean Grey.
No, she's not psychic. There's no telepathy or telekinesis.
Oh, weird. No, that's weird.
Yeah, she's just a power mimic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was always weird, like, I don't know. So she's technically Scott Summers' adopted granddaughter.
Yeah, which they never.
Cable looks like Cyclops' grandfather. That always bothered me.
But he's from the future. He's raised in the future.
Yeah, I know. It's like, they never, that was weird.
Although sometimes Cable is like Dr. Manhattan. Like, he's like a god sometimes.
Sometimes. I never liked Cable. I never liked Cable at all. He always shows up and makes the X-Men more complicated than they have to be.
And like currently he has a book, he's like, it's like Cable in the X-Force.
Yeah.
And it's him like he's like acting like a terrorist. Apparently there's something he's preventing, but he's just like killing people.
Oh god. Just fucking Cable. He's in the Deadpool game because like Cable.
They're buddies.
Yeah, I know.
I mean they hate each other, but they're buddies.
Like when Cable was dead for a little bit, like there's a cover spot Deadpool's like got Iron Man all like souped up in like armor and giant guns because he misses Cable and everything.
Yeah.
Oh god. Fucking Cable and everything. But no, just comics and everything. I guess the only comics that are coming, the new Walking Dead's coming out tomorrow. Oh, like I told you, I'm working on that article, like why I should read the comic instead of like the TV show and everything.
Yeah.
And it's, I didn't see this most recent episode, but like they took the governor from the comics and like he's a total scumbag in the comics. Now they're trying to make him all like Siler on the show.
Really?
And like not like him eating people's brains.
No,
like
I mean
the redemption thing or something. It was so stupid. I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up again.
Actually, I think he's more likely to eat someone's brain than Siler.
Yeah, probably if he becomes a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, Walking Dead the TV show it has ups and downs really. It has really ups and downs. It's not like consistent. The whole changing showrunners definitely has something to do with it, but like, I don't know. I like Frank Darabont, but aside from the pilot episode, the first season of Walking Dead wasn't that great, really. The pilot episode was great, but that's because like it was pretty much a movie. The rest of the season wasn't that great.
I think I only saw the first episode.
Yeah, because I was like, probably I think it was one of the best episodes, but I don't know. Like, AMC, they're gonna have a new post-apocalyptic TV show, and I love post-apocalyptic stuff. I fucking love Fallout 3, and the premise that they described sounds kind of like Revolution, a show I haven't watched, but my stepdad watches a lot.
There's no power.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, and they greenlit 2 new shows. One's a post-apocalyptic show. The other one's about a surgeon in like the 18th century or something. It's weird.
I think they also greenlit Constantine, didn't they?
Preacher.
That's right.
Yeah, they ordered a pilot. I don't know. Yeah. I'd be really. I don't know.
I think if it's gonna be anywhere, let AMC do it. They seem to care.
I don't know. If anywhere, let HBO do it.
No, HBO does things wrong. HBO, you need the right.
If by wrong you mean too much gratuitous sex.
Yes, that is what I mean. Because you need the right. With HBO, you still need the right team. AMC is a joint effort. Like the network cares about what they put on TV.
Well, they're very
HBO
stingy about
just-
their budget, though. To like,
because they didn't have a lot
I feel
of
like
budget.
AMC ever since Breaking Bad, they've become drunk with power.
No, because they keep putting out good shit. Except like Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, how long?
Is
Low Winter Sun or whatever.
that a show?
Yeah, that is a show. They advertised this when Breaking Bad was still on, like the final episodes. Every commercial, they're like shoving it in your face. After Breaking Bad, watch Low Winter Sun or whatever.
I don't even know about it.
Exactly, yeah.
But I mean, but you gotta give it to them with Walking Dead, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, and there's one more good one.
What else is there? Oh, Small Town Security.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't know. No, I mean Preacher, but like Preacher it has to retain that humor
Yeah.
Preacher has. If it doesn't have that humor, it's not Preacher.
They will though.
Hopefully they do. I mean, they changed The Walking Dead, and like I said, Garth Ennis, yes, and he doesn't seem like the type to roll over and like let the producers do what they want with his story. Which is weird. Like in interviews, like he won't talk about Preacher a lot because like it ended in 2000. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure he's just like, God damn it, that was 13 years ago, but
Yeah.
fucking so long ago.
they've been trying to make Preacher a show for forever
A
though.
long time. I mean, as long as they've been trying to make Sandman a show.
And the Watchmen movie, at least that finally got made. But yeah, God, Neil Gaiman talks about like the one script that got brought to him about Sandman adaptation. He was like, it's so fucking stupid. It was like,
he says all the time, he's like, I'd rather there be no Sandman.
that's perfect.
than a
I'm
bad
fine with
Sandman.
that. I'd rather there be no Preacher than like a Preacher that makes like I don't know, like Jesse not say fuck. Yeah, that's another thing. They
Well,
can't
no,
have.
Yeah, but you know when you're incorporating into TV, you're gonna lose the cursing. Walking
Cursing's
Dead,
a big part.
Walking Dead, there's no cursing.
Cursing wasn't like cursing while it was in the comic book.
There's
it
a
wasn't
lot
an
of
essential.
cursing.
Yes, but it wasn't an essential part of what made the comic what it was.
I don't think cursing is an essential part of Preacher. It's a big part. It's how they talk, but you know you have to change that when you're making it for TV.
A scene where Jesse uses the word of God and be like, and you're gonna go fuck yourself. Oh, get rid of that scene.
You're never gonna do that scene.
All of
Not-
Harris Star's
When
scenes
have
you
you
can cut
ever
out.
seen an adaptation that follows a storyline of the comics, thing by thing?
80% of the Watchmen film.
No, it didn't.
Well,
that did not. First of all, I said TV show. Second of all, that thing changed it in the biggest way possible. They changed the entire threat to the world.
like I said, 80%. Like up until the third act of Watchmen, it was pretty like spot on.
I don't think. I mean, I think if you ignore the Rorschach stuff was perfect. Everything else was.
Even though they made him 35 instead of 45, which is weird.
Did they even say 35?
They did say 35.
That's a
It's
minor.
so not.
That's a
it's
minor detail.
Barely. When did they even say it? I don't even remember. Them
They
saying
were
it.
like, the police have apprehended 35-year-old Walter Kovacs.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Again, minor detail at most.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, just that's why I think HBO is the right place for Preacher, because like it's Preacher. It has curse words
Well,
and it
no,
has like
the place to do it is Netflix.
oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is the place to do it. Actually, that's the best place.
HBO's. I guarantee in 10 years HBO's gone
Really?
because you don't need it anymore. Netflix is serving that purpose.
Yeah, Showtime was kind of undermining it. AMC was.
Comedians are all going to Netflix.
Yeah.
That's true.
Marvel is releasing those Marvel shows on Netflix.
hmm
Like there's no more real need. Basically, HBO stands for the home box office.
It's like the time of HBO has passed. It's like Middle Earth kind of thing. HBO, it's kind of becoming old school.
It literally stands for the home box office. That's what Netflix is a home box office.
Home box office.
Yeah.
The only shows that are on HBO, like Boardwalk Empire, well, just wrapped up. But like I said, their best character is dead, so I don't know who's gonna watch it now. But Boardwalk Empire, they got Treem, but Treem's I know you even watched Treem when it was like they were making new episodes. What else? I don't really know what other shows they have out right now. HBO.
Yeah, I have
to be
no idea.
honest. I don't really know.
Showtime Homeland is really good.
I never watched Homeland.
I never watched it.
never
People
watched.
love it.
And
they have Ray Donovan.
Yeah, that guy took the Emmy from Bryan Cranston, so I'm I'm biased against it.
Oh, guess what?
Homeland, because the fucking guy took the Emmy from
You
Bryan
never
Cranston.
watched it.
I know.
How do you know he's not better than Bryan Cranston?
I guess maybe. I don't want to watch it though. There are too many TV shows I need to watch. I need to settle on one TV show at a time. Like Arrow is probably gonna be that TV show. You know, so I mean, I'm not saying Homeland's. I heard Homeland kind of like took a dip in the second season anyway, but I guess maybe it's okay. But and the Newsroom. Yeah, that's another HBO
Newsroom's
show.
really good. I actually watched it.
Newsroom's good. It's just like it's good, but because it's Aaron Sorkin and he writes every single episode, all the characters kind of sound exactly the same.
You
now.
do sort of get a similar vibe from not only every person but every episode.
Everyone's sarcastic and snarky, and
I think
it's
every
good dialogue.
person's
Like
though.
he can write dialogue, and he's good at it. But you know, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the future of TV is not ours to decide.
No, it isn't.
We might go find out one day.
Well, yeah. But we got to see a glimpse at the future of a certain show,
Yeah, we did.
which is nice.
I'm looking for. Looking like a good future so far.
Yep.
50 more years, hopefully.
That's what they're shooting
Mhm.
for, apparently.
Well, but is it going to be 50 more years, or is it going to be like, well, we'll do 30 years and we'll have a big break, and then we'll
I
come
think
back?
let's just start small. Let's start 1 year at a time.
Yeah, let's do 1 year at a time. Let's get Stephen Moffat out of this. Not saying like let's fire him, but
Yeah.
let's get him done with his run, and then let's see what happens.
Exactly.
Let's see how long he'll go. Maybe he'll either quit or die of old age.
Nah, he'll leave when it's
The time is
when
right.
it's time.
He has to tell his story, and like I'm trying to see what his overall story is, though.
Yeah. Well,
We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see where that takes us, and see what the Doctor takes us, and
Exactly.
we'll head off into that black starry night. What? We're ready, dude. Just hit it. We're not a professional place here.
Geronimo!
Hello, Z. For God's sakes.
Nah.